time really flies. The weeks fly by and everything along those lines, and we stay fly. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys had enjoyed your time with us here. Obi and I, we're going to send it off to the lads to our right, and hopefully they're going to continue to crush it. Guys,
take it easy.
See you later.
Trade safe.
We got Beige Book going on right now.
It's like unmute my mic. Almost. Not yet, not yet. Not since I come back have I caught myself muted. But no, we got Beige Book coming out right now. So, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it matters. Most of the time, not too big of a deal. I guess we'll try to get some highlights to you for sure. I know we're going to have Joe come by and do the rundown for a bit. But overall, it was like that Hua Dunk that we just came back to in the market. Right back up to the top. So, I don't know. We're going to go over to there quickly for Beige Book. But some of these names are at VWAP, and I'm looking at Apple right now. Adara?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Neil, this isn't always something that's going to necessarily move the market very much, but I am seeing some notes, I guess comments from the Beige Book coming through in social media, so I'll share those with you guys here. Apparently, economic activity changed very little on the balance sheet compared to the previous reports, with only 3 districts reporting slight to modest growth in activity. 5 reported no change in activity, and then 4 other districts just noted a slight softening with regards to economic activity. Apparently, 1 district report highlighted the downside risk to growth from a prolonged government shutdown. So some concerns here that if the shutdown is longer, which we are expecting it to be, that could impact growth. But yeah, nothing super significant here on these Fed Beige Book notes. They did note, however, across the board, which I think is important, elevated economic uncertainty. This actually echoes comments we had even from the most dovish of Fed members today, Steve Myron. So it's very clear that elevated economic uncertainty is a concern across the board. Back to you.
All right, so Beige Book consider giving us a little bit of an opportunity to get out. We were, I don't know what it's called. Maybe Neil knows when you have the top of the day and the bottom of the day right there. So that's 105.50 on the TQs. We go for our haircut, come back down to $100 right there. So nice 550, nice move down there for the TQQs. I mean, the only take for order profit that we had, this is just as we left you guys at 11 o'clock. We wrote it in the chat that we were going short. We found a level right there. We went short, and then the only order that we had out of any real take profit was about $1 down there at 104.50 at the 200 period. I feel like if I was sitting here, we would have got out here because that's the low. But then when I came back, you know, we'd noticed yesterday's close, right? And we're potentially going to be bouncing off of that. So right there, we talked about potentially having your trade of the day being Google right there, because it's funny, we have right here, man, we have $4 long, and then we have $6 short. So, you know, this is just showing, Neil, the ability that you have to be able to switch sometimes the way you're thinking, right? And we did that early there with the short. So
yeah, even AMD ended up being maybe not the best short in the world, but that stock is an absolute rocket ship today. But it did end up turning with everything else. So I talked to you guys about Apple, its volume weighted average price. We just got back there. I don't even know what AX is, but apparently AMD load. All right, I'm just going to the black chart. Not waiting for you. But even AMD up top there, remember we mentioned that 240? That pulled back into the volume weighted average price. But this is a strong one. No questions asked. Like it never, the first dip in that 229, it never even got back to that price. Because to me, that was going to be the spot. If you get to 229, it barely broke 231. At this point, like I like things that are a little bit weaker. AMD, yesterday's news, today's move. And there it is. Now, like 5 minutes later, the chart decides to load up. Kind of hilarious. That's why I go to the black chart. Like, eventually, it'll get there.
Yeah.
But this is now rolling back over at 236. This could be a bit of a trend break on AMD. And if this damn falls, I don't know. This is the strongest stock out there. I feel like if it goes, we could be in a little bit of trouble. The stock that I left you guys with liking short, I got pretty lucky with. That was, remember this morning, I'm like, yeah, ARM is relatively weak. Well, ARM had a deal from Meta. And it was like right as it was at the low of the day, it's like, oh, it just bounced off the low of the day. It's like a normal place to get out. And then 5 minutes later, they announced the deal with Meta, and then ARM shot like $8 up. So that was one of those like fluke kind of things. Although it's back underneath the volume weighted average price, this might put a kibosh. If ARM stays strong, it might put the kibosh on the plans to have signaled the top on ARM and try to buy it back. Because if this holds up, and somehow magically can close above 175. That would be, I think it might have shaken some people out. I still maintain it was the right thing to do, to take profit on this name. But a deal with Meta, that's not a bad thing because Meta's got deep pockets, obviously. And let's be real. Like today, the market wasn't doing much, but there were a few names that were absolute rockets, like Google, AMD. It felt like you were cruising. The fact that we reversed on not a lot, let's be, there was some talk and there was some China concern, but we were kind of fading before that, and then it just accelerated. Not the best sign. Like, it makes you feel a little bit tepid that there's this like lack of bid once we get rolling. You know what I mean? Like when you're in a crazy bull market and they buy it up and it's just like buy, 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 buy. That's what's happening when it loses a bid. And I can tell you there were like a few flash crashes and some stuff that normally doesn't move lost a bid. I'm going to give you an example. Like, so anyone that knows Robinhood is buying WonderFi for like 35 cents. The stock literally doesn't move. I'm talking about at all. And I only know this because I had long at like 33 when it happened. And then it just dropped like 12% and then came right back because nobody would get on. It's literally free money because the deal probably closes within a couple of months. Like literally free money. Like it's not, the deal's going to happen. There's nothing standing in the way of it. But when the market started rolling over, like people just stopped bidding this thing, which you don't usually see that happen. And when I see stuff like that, it makes you a little bit cautious about like how strong are we really, that the algos just pull their bids so flippantly. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents there. I saw a couple of others, but this was like the most extreme one. So when you have that kind of a thing happening in the market, you just be a little bit cautious in terms of how much you want to dig in when we start rolling over. There's always some kind of bounce somewhere. Just try to be patient about it.
Yeah, we talked about it, man. Patience, sizing, and something else. The three most important things there. Obviously, strategy has to be there as well. Tesla trying to make a move as well. We were long. Tesla got out of that one pretty early down here into 426. And look, man, all things lead to support and resistance. And right there, support from yesterday on Tesla at the close, boom to the upside. We already saw that in this trade on the TQQs where we go top to bottom. So. All right, we're ready for Joe, or not quite yet? Okay. Yeah, we're excited there tonight. I actually wanted to check on here Kalshi to see what we're going at. So it's actually a little bit better. Yesterday we were at 37 days, 36 days now. But I mean, every day that goes by, we should be going up a day. So that's nice that that came down a little bit. But still, as we were talking, not a good momentum play there if we're going to think about the government reopening. And I just wonder, like, we are still...
No move is a move.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Qs right now, even just looking at a daily chart, I mean, I wonder what's going to happen once the government's back in. Like, we're already at highs. Like, we're pretty much right there right now. We're obviously a little bit away from that, about 2% away, but once the government is back on board, do we take out those highs again? I mean, actually, no, that's only 613, not 630, sorry. So 600, yeah, we're only 10 bucks away on 600.
That's not even that
so
much.
It's nothing. So we're really, really close there. We did have a nice dip down there. We all saw what happened there on Friday, all the way to the downside. I wish I was here for that. But right there, 590, came right into the 50-period moving average. I'm trying to buy. Basically, every single time we get into the 50-period moving average, I'm buying. So we did good recently there. We're going to try it again on the Nasdaq, but I'm probably more likely to do the Dow or the S&P 500. All my portfolios is littered with Nasdaq stocks, obviously. But what are the banks doing? The banks today,
not bad.
Yeah, 310. Okay, so 310 was the high there. 312 for JP Morgan. So it got going again off of that 50-period moving average. So this has been a good play for me, and I want to stay into this name. Although we've been getting some out near the top here. Part of the diversification right now does exist. Sharif's not here, but you know what else I was thinking? You know, RCI, Rogers Communication. This is obviously the name that owns the Blue Jays. I was thinking like sports teams right now. We had the Boston Celtics get sold for like $6 billion or something like that. And I'm glad to be, I was just thinking about some of the Canadian names that I own. Look what the hell's going on with Rogers. I bought this name,
it's like
honestly,
much better than you'd think.
25 years ago when I first started, like my first cell phone bill, and I started that whole thinking like, hey, I just bought an iPhone, I'm buying Apple. I'm not with Rogers now, but this name battling back right there as well. So I think just in sports and the valuation of some of these sports teams, there's RCI, there's Madison Square Garden, which owns the Knicks, and James Dole in there. Then there's also...
If Sharif was here, I'd say there's Man U, but...
Well, that was the one that I was going to go to next, was Man U. So I think this is
it's his favorite
obviously...
stock.
I think the Saudis will get involved in this very, very soon. So I like Man U to diversify your portfolio as well. But hey, man, I'm just a trader. Over there, we've got Joe at the big desk ready to go. Let's see what's going on with the news of the day.
All right, guys, welcome to the afternoon rundown, the segment where we talk about the stocks you guys vote on. Make sure to get in the chat, hit the $ and then the ticker that you're specifically looking for. A lot going on in the market today, guys. Yesterday, it was the soybean trade. Today, we got something else with Donald Trump tweeting the government shutdown is still looming and presumed to go until mid-November. Very interesting stuff. But at the top of our list today, guys, we have AMD catching multiple analyst upgrades. The market was selling off not too long ago, and we had AMD holding up relatively strong. Also, teaming up with Sam Altman and company, with Altman taking a 10% stake in the company, obviously via warrants and some other vehicles. Now, guys, what do we think about AMD?
AMD is...
Never heard of it.
The advanced money doubler lately. 8% today on AMD on yesterday's story. Sometimes, yeah, like the stock has gone into like a bizarro mode or a crazy mode or nonsense mode or whatever, ludicrous speed. They're making another Spaceball, so I should just go with ludicrous speed.
Yeah.
But if you've never seen Spaceballs, the original is absolutely ridiculous. We ain't found ish is the only line you need to know. So AMD, like, it was a clean sort of 225 break. This was kind of the number, like for me, this was the cleanest breakout because it was a multi-day level. It was pre-market, then yesterday, and then I guess it had to be Monday as well, so 225. And I was a little bit surprised at how far it went, reloaded it a couple of times. I did have a short that I didn't know if I believed in enough from like 37.
From where?
37 down into like 35. So a couple of times we're able to take a few bucks out of it each time through. But the bigger thing about AMD is look where this bounced. When the market really gave it up, this bounced at the top end of range support at 230. So now I think you're working with 230 into the high, which is 240 change. And as long as 230 holds this higher low, you have a potential for another breakout. The only thing we got going on with AMD is like it's expensive P basis. We talked about this earlier to NVIDIA. And I feel like there's only, I don't know how far that can go. Like how far can AMD continue to go with NVIDIA not showing strength and NVIDIA being like a relative like value buy compared to AMD. But for now, rocket ship, 230 holds, and your next stop ends up being 240 maybe tomorrow. I don't know about today.
Look, man, AMD yesterday was a top stock. I didn't trade it today, so that's not going to be on my radar. But yeah, I mean, I prefer NVIDIA to AMD. But AMD, obviously, with all of the news and taking out its all-time highs again right now, it looks like it wants to do that. So great stock. Obviously, anybody that bought it at $75, like this was $75 on tariffs. Let's call it 80 bucks, okay? So 80, 160, 240, triple. So congratulations on Advanced Micro Devices. I mean, my trade yesterday was, here, it's still from yesterday, I think, right there. Yeah, so we had this yesterday on the sticky note at 216. It's at 236 right now. So, you know, we like Advanced Micro Devices. And yeah, good trading there today. What a range it's had on it there. And again, without knowing oops, sorry, we're on the TQs right there. Without knowing too much, I got to go back to AMD. We didn't even have it, like it wasn't even on our, I was reading through the watch list here today, and you know, we didn't even, like no one I don't think was expecting this. NVIDIA is the top story, nuclear is the next, Bank of America, ASML, Tesla, Dollar Tree, Papa John's, Microsoft, Apple, Coinbase, Alphabet, and cooking oil stocks. So like, I think if this one probably caught many of you, just like it did me, off guard.
But after yesterday, I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't, we didn't have it there. I know we didn't talk about it in the beginning of the day. We might talk about it as a move, but we didn't talk about it as, I know you had it.
It was top of my list today. There's news on Serve Robotics here.
Is there? Yeah, something about Serve Robotics.
Yeah, there's, shoot, where's the actual, I heard it, but because the headline hasn't flashed, I can't read you the headline, but it's Serve and NVIDIA, which is, that's the name you want to hear. But until I get the actual headline coming across, I don't want to just like make something up, but I know it has, I heard NVIDIA, so I know what it has to do with NVIDIA.
It just popped now? Well,
it just popped on volume a little bit now from VWAP, from like 17.5 into 18, but like again, like I said, I'm not seeing the story, so we'll go back to Joe, and if I see the story, I'll just pop it into, the chat for you guys. Yeah. I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think we got the shades on now. All right, good stuff there. All right, guys. We're going to talk about one of the hottest spaces in the overall market. No, it's not the quantum. Bang, there it is. Yes, it is the nuclear space, guys. And Ollo is the name that we are going to be talking about right now, up over 1,400% in the past year. Things starting to cool down a little bit. But can this space continue to run? I think so. Guys, what do you think about Ollo?
Okay, well, today was the pullback day on Ollo. That much is obvious. Can 165 hold? Or maybe even a little bit lower, like call it like 164. So yesterday, we talked about AMD having multi-day support or resistance that broke. Well, Ollo has 164 as support yesterday, wick bottom, and then the afternoon on Monday as well. So that's a bit of a flat bottom break look. It's good that it held the support there in the market tank, but when you really start to consider where this is coming from, the last time it pulled back from a multi-day rally, like it was 3 days to the downside and went 40 bucks. So, and that was when it was at 145 into 105. I call it like a 20-something% move. Like it's already from the high pulled back 12, 13% from that top. So like it could easily see, if it wanted to, the 147, 145 area back in here. So I'm not sure necessarily this is a place that I would be comfortable picking it up. Like I own SMR, like I'm not buying SMR up here at like 50 something. Well, it was at 50, now at like $49. So I think you just gotta understand that even with that big gap up, and what is very good news, like you wanna tell me that the US Army wants to go nuclear to power their bases, that's a great long-term play for these names. But like the market, they sold this one off of the news. I think you want to make sure that it holds that first support before digging in. Got a little bounce today. If you can hold that this evening and tomorrow morning, then I think we can get a little relief rally. But they got to prove it to me because these have been flying a little too far.
Yeah, I'm actually logging in. I actually want to, I got out of some SMR. I'm trying to log in to see how much I have right here because I just think that you're getting to a point where, you know, we know the story. We've been up here before, and we cranked a hell of a lot lower from this level. So if we think that the market is about to turn upside down, which I don't, but if you think it's getting a little frothy, you're at froth levels again right here. We had recently just sold some the other day in and around, I mean, it was, when we came back, we talked, it might have been actually down, that's what I'm going to try to check. I thought it was like 41, 42, but it might have been that day right there. But anyways, at the end of the day, I think it's getting a little frothy up here. I mean, I don't care really what stock in the quantum space it is, in the nuclear space, none of them right now making any money. And then you also have the chance of something going wrong. And I don't think SMRs are, I don't know enough about it. I'm not any engineer or anything like that, but I just wonder if it's getting just a little bit too excited about the technology here. I'm sure it is legit. It's just such a huge runner and such a great profit spot. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking some profit at some points right now. I'm gonna probably keep the glasses on. I'm meeting the eye surgeon again today for my
follow-up.
Yeah, six day or so follow-up. I think everything's going great, but they won't like the fact that I'm staring at screens all day. So I'm here sort of against doctor's orders, but that's okay. I feel good, and we'll find out tonight what the story is. So
Patrick,
that's why we have those on.
We got a super chat from Patrick. Question, is the $5 a month worth it membership? I tend to think so because what you get from it is a pretty good research note every single day. Sharif wasn't even in today, but he did bring out the note. You got Bank of America earnings, some support and resistance. It rundowns the entire story in terms of what you need to know, not just the actual results, but kind of in-depth analysis from a trading perspective, from a more fundamental perspective. There's ASML in here. I'm just going to run it down for you. Alphabet Waymo. You actually had Tesla in there on Elon's pay package. Morgan Stanley really crushed it today. Yeah. On the pullback, Morgan Stanley actually held its high, the all-time high, more or less, on the pullback that the market had. So it did really, really well. And then you've got, of course, we were just talking about the nuclear story. So you've got the U.S. military, specifically the Army, and that's going to be in there. It's pretty in-depth. I keep going. There's a few more stories down there, but I won't show them all to you. You get all of that every single day. So like there's 22 trading days in a month, $5. You guys do the math. That's pretty cheap. That's not a cup of coffee at all. Although if you can get a cup of coffee for that, then let me know, because as far as I know, you can't get a cup of coffee for like 25 cents. Right there. So let's go talk a little bit about Tesla.
There's also Super Chat 5 memberships there. Is that what?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
Here it is right here. Like, come over to my screen right now. What's up to Party P right there. So grab those memberships and then let us know what you're thinking of it. I mean, we're not making any money off that. We're just, like Neil said, we're just giving it out to you to bring you guys into the community, because that's what we're all about. We do things for free here. Hopefully we just give you the bangers on our screen, and maybe here's another one with Tesla.
All right, guys. I mean, there's half of it right there on the $2 super chat. So why not go in and test it out, see if you like it or not. All right, guys. Tesla next up on the docket. Now, sales up 126% in the week of October 6th to 12th. A big time move. We're seeing the sales rise in China, so that's been absolutely fantastic. Guys, what do you think about Tesla?
Well, it was doing. This is the problem. I felt like it was going to make that breakout today, but it didn't. So, and I think we're still waiting for 440 to get taken out. Unfortunately, you might want to chalk this one up to the market for Tesla, because it did everything you would think. Like yesterday, liquidity grab, run. And then today, like liquidity grab, hold the prior close, attempt to break out. Looked like, okay, it was dipping, but still has a chance to make a second run at it. It doesn't do so, and now all of a sudden you're heading right back in. You're still up on the day in Tesla if you have it from yesterday's close, but the sentiment might just be a bit of a shift. So it's been a chop fest around the 420 bottom into 440. As I said, it seemed like today might have been the day that we cleared that out. It didn't happen, so I wait for that to happen tomorrow. Well, we still have time this week. Like, it could happen Friday. You never know. I prefer if it happens on Thursday or Monday, because breaking those big even dollar levels on a Friday is not really my favorite thing in the world. I feel like you have trouble following through on a Friday because of options expiration. But yeah, that's what needs to happen, I think, next for Tesla. There's some risk that we could lose the consolidation, but as long as it's here, it's like support just underneath 20, and again, that 440 resistance needs to go. When it does, I'll be there.
Yeah, I put the 440 in there to break it, but we wanted to break that top because we looked at it the second time around, and thankfully it did not. But then when it pulled back into the 50 period and into, I guess at that point where VWAP was or something, we messed with this a little bit in there, and then it wind up just basically just making a mess at the end of the day. It wasn't just no money. Well, we lost, but no money made or lost on this one. So what we'll wind up losing, we talked about compartmentalizing things right now. So I'll wind up losing basically about 15% of what we made on the TQs, just screwing around right here. So it was a significant amount. Well, not a significant amount, but it was a little bit. But we tried Tesla, man. I mean, I'm here to try, and we did. So loser there on TSLA today. And again, I like what they're doing. I like the stock. It's still up 1% here. The car companies are a disaster right now. You can check out Ford. And I mean, BYD is just getting killed even more than all of these things. So BYDDF right there, depending on whatever exchange you're looking at here. This would be the OTC markets where they're located. And you get different classes of shares. But that's right, we don't have the split. But anyways, split adjusted, you're still down pretty low from where we were before. So let me get this, hold on. I'm just gonna get it on the e-signal chart, BYDD. I'll go BYDDY, I don't know. We had Jeff on there explaining to us, it's just voting rights and things like that. But yeah, still down, right? So 1950 down to 13, 14, 15. This might be a buy in and around here. Let me see, BYDDY. Oh, I already did that. BYDDF is the other one. So there's F shares versus Y shares. I'm not sure. This says limited, BYD company limited, but either way, they're exactly. That's what I'm saying. So one is, it's like Goog and Google. Like one's going to have voting rights, one's not. But right into there, $13 may be a decent buy if you're looking to pick something up. And we always sort of pump the tires of these Chinese names. Well, this is a good opportunity right now to pick something up where you might get a good value on BYDDF or BYDDY. It looks like the F is going to have a little more volume, but I don't know. Do your own research on those two. But yeah, I like Tesla. I still own it. I'm not getting out of anything really these days. Like I said, I would like to get out some SMR near the top there, and maybe buy some Omer, of course. And let's go discuss what's up with Omer.
Good stuff there. Yes, Omer is up next, guys. On the news that Novo Nordisk is going to acquire one of their kidney drugs. Now the stock is up 195% plus at its highs from Friday session lows. That's a big time move in OMER. Guys, what do you think about these biotechs?
That's interesting because it's like, that's a lot. It's a lot of money for Omer here. Like it was $340 million for the first year, and I believe up to $2.1 billion.
Yeah.
Over, I forget how many years. I'd have to go and double check it, but that's a pretty nice chunk of change for Omer. What was crazy about it was for the fact that it had pulled back. I wrote this one off because it lost the volume weighted average price. Like I was on that other one today, Coot, but it couldn't hold VWAP. And then when one of these gappers doesn't hold VWAP, I just kind of get away from it. And then at the same time, like this one pulled back, lost VWAP, you sort of forget about it. But on 100 mil volume, it's just holding up here. Like not super crazy in terms of the action anymore, but it's holding VWAP, holding trend up, and still doing pretty solid volume. So this might be something, because like I said, it's a really large chunk of change for them to be able to unlock here. The question is, can it hold on to that 10? Like some of these prior highs, I call them bag holder levels. So the last bag holder levels were like 9 and 10. Well, it's holding on to 10 right now. So you do that for a couple of days, and there might be a second leg in this. I just feel with these, if you're in the chat in like the morning, like I think when Tisha and some of our other like early traders that are here when we come on air at 8:30 and some of you guys logged in at like 8:15, like if you got the scanners that picked this one up, you really need to grab it probably off of VWAP at 8:30. That's, for these stocks, that's kind of the jam, because when you're trying, even though it would have worked at like 9 o'clock, grabbing 9.5, or like this would have worked, I think over time you're a little bit better off when you're in it early, because here you could play VWAP and risk 50 cents or like 70 cents or something, and then it could still double up. Whereas when you're taking that trade a little bit later, like the chances of you actually getting a double up are pretty low. So yeah, Omer, wait a couple of days on this one. It is a significant chunk of change, which could be still giving you a secondary move, but let it confirm. This afternoon, I don't really see much of anything here. If anything, it looks like it's trying to break a bit of an upward trend, but I didn't pay for locate, so I'm not going to short it.
It'd be interesting. We talked about this earlier when we saw Archer Aviation. Yesterday we had Brian on, and he was looking like we were going to try to break out. So it'd be interesting to see. We'll talk to him maybe a bit later and see what was going on here, because it broke through 14 bucks and then came right back in. So just wondering where the stop maybe would be on a play like that. Archer. So. And look what this looks like on the minute chart here. It's just straight down right now. So trying to find maybe a place to potentially pick this up. And we're coming into it right now. I actually think this is a good long against 12. What level is this? Yeah, 12. I might take this right now. That's 12.7. I'm probably going to go long right now on Archer. But I like that level. I just want to bring it up to everybody because this is another name that was pretty hot running in the morning. It looked like it was breaking out. And right now, looking like it wants to go downside. That, of course, is Archer Aviation. All right, NVTS. Let's go find out about Navitas.
All right, guys. Yes, exactly that. So teaming up with NVDA yesterday, also looking to partner up with Digital Power Joint Lab to accelerate its high-efficiency power management development. So another partnership here. We're seeing some strong price action on today's session, guys, and we're also breaking through some key resistance levels. Keep an eye on that 950 level that we're now substantially past. And from that news on yesterday, you're up a whopping 37%, starting to cool off a little bit. Guys, what do you think about NVTS?
Before we get to NVT, just one last thing on Omer, because I didn't say it and I should have. When I'm saying it's that 340 million is significant, the market cap before today's move was like 280 million for Omer, and it's up 150%. So like you're talking about a 430 whatever $million company, something like that, that gets a $350 million deal that could be worth up to 2.1 billion. That's why I'm saying it could be a little bit more than just a one-day deal there. NVTS. I just heard something about Novo, but anyways, NVTS, I think the reason that I wasn't a huge fan of it was that whole 3-day breakout, like bang, gap up, and then another gap up. Like usually I'm thinking retrace on a stock like this when it gives you that, okay, there's your break, then there's continuation, and there's the next day. But because it didn't happen, I might think that tomorrow, like if it holds up here, look for that pullback kind of day, like you saw with Ollo just recently. So I'd be hunting for the dip buy day. Might have already happened in here on 13. So I have nothing that I like about it for this afternoon. But tomorrow morning, like my first thought would be, okay, a bit of a day 3 type of rejection of 15 could give you a little bit of a retracement short. And when I said the word locates on Omer, anytime we say that, we're just talking about borrows to be able to short the stock. On select names, probably like Navitas. Actually, I don't know about Navitas. Yeah, like Navitas, did that just reject? Oh, okay, we have, bad example, we actually have free locates on Navitas, so I can't offer it. But say on OMER, like I would have to pay for locates to be able to go short, meaning you have to get borrows from the broker and they're not free. That's all. Here at Real Trading, 99% of the stocks are probably higher than that, are free to be able to go short because they're in the inventory. And then there's a small amount where you have to pay for locates and then the ability to short them by paying a small fee. That's all.
All right. I was just going to say, like, on the TQs here, I was just noticing that we just bounced off of the 50-period moving average. So I did put another bid there to cover. I only have 5% left, not even 5%. I have less than that left. And we have a new position, of course. As we just talked about this a couple of seconds ago, we're going to go long on Archer. I mean, I don't know. I like the stock. I like the setup. We just talked about it. Nice move to the downside. And then TRB there in the chat. What's up, TRB? Mentioned to me that the Archer is the people's stock. So yeah, we're here. We're here for the people, of course. As yeah, I've only traded 4 names today. So here we go with ACHR, a new one now stepping in. And just to review like what we were talking about right here, we zoomed out, we looked at it. This is part of why we're doing the rundown, right, is to look at some of this stuff. So right into here, 1280, that little dip by there into like sort of into yesterday's close is really where I'm concerned with. So that bottom is 1270. So I'm going to hold this until a 1270 break. Or 1269. If it breaks, it breaks, man. I mean, we'll deal with it when that winds up happening, but we do want to make sure that that is your 200-period moving average at 13s. So if we can get up to 13, then maybe that would be an early quick stop there. But we're 6 or 7 cents in the money on this one, so that is starting to work out. I just heard they don't have the votes to pass the shutdown. Let's go figure out if that's what Adara has.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but Sean just mentioned that. So again, the shutdown here, the Republican bill to end the U.S. government shutdown does not get enough votes. They are going to continue voting. If I get more updates, I'll let you know. I actually wanted to tell you guys, though, right now about Novo Nordisk. Now, this one, of course, I'd watch with that deal with OMER earlier today, but they just put on their website about 5 minutes ago, it looks like, that the U.S. FDA has approved Wegovy's supplemental new drug application as amended for labeling with minor editorial revisions. So apparently, yeah, I guess the U.S. FDA has approved their use of Wegovy, a supplemental new drug application with minor labeling revisions. If I get more detailed on said labeling revisions, I will let you know. Also, in about half an hour now, 2:30 p.m., or sorry, at 3 p.m., we are expecting a press conference here from U.S. President Donald Trump. Again, sometimes he's late. If I get more details on when that conference is actually going to start, including when I get a live stream, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Yeah, that Novo it's a red to green, but it's also a breakout play on Novo. A couple of things first, bouncing off the 50 period on the daily, so there it is. There's your 50 period hold on simple moving average, and then you go to yesterday, 56 like 88 or something was kind of the top, and then you go to last week on Friday, that was support. So a breakout of 57. Story or no story with higher lows today, that's a breakout trade. I had Rigetti up, but I'm gonna throw Novo Nordisk. Well, Rigetti got smoked today.
Yeah.
Well, smoked is probably the wrong word compared to like how far it's gone.
But was it 7% or I don't know?
Yeah, like it wasn't that bad. So I'm just gonna get my order. If Novo breaks 57 going long, and then I was just mentioning Rigetti. Yeah, smoked. Might be an overstatement. 6% down. It was probably just 7 or more at one point. Actually, more than that. It might have gone closer to 9. Yeah, the low was down at 50.5. So this actually got almost 10% SSR. It looks like. Yeah, but either way, that's just yesterday's range. So to say it got smoked, that's why I'm saying that's probably not fair of me to say that, because it just gave back yesterday's move, which is not the end of the world, but it was a nasty move for RGTI. I did want to throw this up just to remind everybody in the chat, because I see KC saying AMD going for the moon. Well, AMD was already at the top, but that was this morning. So now everybody, if you want a name, if you want us to look at a name, or if you just are typing a symbol in there just because something's happening in it or it's interesting to you, then $, and then the ticker. So if you wanted to say $NVO, because I was just talking about it, then I would just type in $NVO, and then eventually you'd see it fall down. I see HIMS, I see lays, but I'm going to do the fresh start as well, so my NVO doesn't skew things, because whatever, I've already talked about it. So Intel, Rigetti, LEU, ABV.
Ooh.
We get some random ones. When was the last time we looked at Silver is making a great run? That's a good look there. But ABV, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I own AbbVie. I owned it for a while once they bought whoever they used to Botox they bought.
Yeah.
I forget who that was.
It doesn't really come up on the show very often.
No, I like XBI. I think, we've been talking, I mean, you guys remember I was talking all about biotech when Brendan and I had that podcast for a while there. This was a name that I was trying to get into, well, not trying to, was getting into, and, just stick with the themes, right? I mean, even though you sometimes got to suffer, obviously, through these dips. I mean, everybody did back in April, but there's XBI right now. It was breaking out again. So this is biotech. So this is another, it's one of the only, I haven't like this. I own ARC, Q, whatever the robotics ARC one is. Other than that, I don't really own any indexes other than the markets, like the Dow, the SPY, or the ES, and the Nasdaq. But this would be one there. And then, of course, crypto just with IBIT, which is just Bitcoin. So, but anyways, yeah, nice move there for XBI, and again, AbbVie and all that, all the biotech names going into there. I wonder if there's more value in just straight up buying like a Novo or like an Eli Lilly, but we're sort of doing the both of these things as we go. Eli Lilly today, another nice move, man, up 1.6%. So go Eli, go, up to 828 right now. That could be another great break, but I like what you're looking at with Novo Nordisk. I think that has a better opportunity on the daily, especially with more news involved in that one. So we'll have to watch out, but I like Eli Lilly.
Eli's got that Chad power.
Chad? Yeah, just, what is that from?
Chad Powers. Oh, you don't know, so, you know that Eli Manning.
Eli Manning, yeah.
He did
on
this,
Saturday Night Live.
He did this gag where
Okay,
it's a YouTube
right.
video where he pretends.
I knew what you meant by Chad, but I didn't know it was
So
Eli
he puts
Manning.
on like makeup and he pretends to be like some random dude and goes for a tryout and balls out. And then Disney made a show out of it. So the dude from
okay, I don't know.
The guy from Top Gun. What's the guy's name from Top Gun?
Tom Cruise?
No, the other dude, like the guy who plays more of like the Iceman character, like the.
Oh, that didn't that guy?
No, the.
Val Kilmer?
No, the other. There's the blonde dude. I don't know the actor's name. He's relatively new. I've seen him only in a couple of things. Glenn Powell. Thank you, Jacob Knight in the chat. Glenn Powell. So he plays this Chad Powers dude who, for some reason, gets blackballed in the league.
Okay.
And then just goes to like an open tryout with like prosthetics on and some funky hair and a fake name, and then just makes the team. And now he's a starting quarterback.
Okay. So
but he's like a fake dude. So
yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So Eli Manning. I liked Eli Manning
With
and Peyton
Sydney
Manning on
Sweeney.
Saturday Night Live. Those guys are funny. I can't watch that ESPN2 stuff on. I don't like watching them talk about Monday Night Football. I'd rather just watch the commentating rather than those guys for sure. But still, fun guys for sure. All right, so. Yeah, I was just thinking about this on the daily chart because we're invested in this name, obviously. I was just looking like, I don't know, man, this 900 looks pretty juicy up there. Maybe the next time we get, not maybe, the next time we get up there, we're going to empty out a couple clips on that name as well. What a great move that has had. I'm looking up to see if there's anything sort of popping off right now on our hot list right here. I know it's hard to see. I don't know. I don't want, if zooming in on this is possible or not, but AMD right there. So this is from eSignal. So they have different things here. Most volatile names, above, see like percentage above VWAP, sends largest range, monthly. I don't look at monthly too much. Near yearly highs or near yearly lows. So we could do that. Percent gainers, percent losers. Those are pretty standard. But the one I like is the trade rate. So you can also get unusual volume. So if you click on this one, you'll see some names that are potential Omer, of course, leading the way there. YDKG. The problem with a lot of these are, and I don't have volume here as a column, which you can easily put, is just I don't know enough about all these names. So what I like to do is this one right here, trade rate. And now it'll give us all the names that are just putting through a bunch of trades right now. So AMD has probably been at the top the whole time because AMD, or not the whole time, but enough of it, that's done 85 million shares and going through many, many trades, a second rate there. So is NVIDIA. There's Rigetti on the list as well. Tesla with the move down, see it's really starting to get going. We can check out what RGTI is. This is not linked, unfortunately, to our P Pro 8 software, so I have to just keep on changing it myself. There goes Rigetti to the downside there. Tesla, what is that? AREC. So this is how we find new names. And American Resources right now down 32% and looking downside right now. QBTS Plug Power getting unplugged today. Beyond Meat only 77 cents right now. There's Amazon. We're still waiting. Look at Amazon's 52-week low, 160, right? Could that be revisited? Yeah, but I don't think it will. But Amazon's high of 240 as well. There's the Qs. You want to talk about a 52 weeks, man. 400 to 600 right there. Invest in the strong names, and that is the Nasdaq. Ooh, this UUU. This one was a good one for a while there, UUU as well. But okay, what's up, Adara?
I just want to let you guys know here, just beware geopolitical tensions potentially and watch here. According to CNN, Donald Trump has said that Israeli forces could resume fighting in Gaza, quote, as soon as I say the word, if Hamas does not uphold the terms of their ceasefire deal. We know that there was the peace in the Middle East. We had that summer to that conference earlier this week. But yeah, according to U.S. President Donald Trump, again, as reported by CNN, that peace could become a bit tenuous if the deal is not upheld. So just worth noting here, geopolitical tensions and concerns sometimes moving this market. Either way, though, market continuing to push up nicely from these lows made during the midday. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, there it is. What's up, Kyle? We're here, guys. We're here. Like, you know, I love hosting the show, but obviously I take my number one responsibility as trader. So right there, there's Archer. Good little level there, up 1280. You know, our risk was only, we talked about where we're going to get stopped out at a break of 70. So risking right here about 16 cents. Now in the money, 16 cents. So we'll take some out here at a 1-to-1. I don't generally use R to R at all. It's just for this one right now, we just at the 50 period moving average. It just happens to be that that's what it is right there. So we got double the fun down there as we really liked it. And there it goes right back there to the upside. So I'll salute you, TR in the chat that was talking about this stock as well. And then thanks for all of you guys for voting for it in the rundown, because, you know, if it wasn't there, I would not have gone over to this stock either. So make sure that you do. I'm going to reset this bad boy right now. Get into the chat right here and start putting more names in, because you guys gave me this Archer stock and we took it, right? So I don't know if Neil's been in anything this afternoon, but right now Archer, TQs is still in old position. So what's up? Appreciate that. Sebastian as well. Lays is a great idea there as well. Capital One, Amazon, Tesla, PayPal, LAC, HIB. So they will all start to populate in here, and I'll give Neil, I love the fact that there's logos right there. And it'll give us an opportunity to see what you guys are into and go from there. So there it is, man. Good trade there on Archer. I mean, it still could fall back in a little bit. We'll take off about 20% there at this level and then wait for a little more. I mean, I don't know. We bottom ticked it there. This stock we're not going to be able to top tick unless there was some news. So I think like this 1320 might sort of be in and around a maximum area for me on this one. So we'll wait to see if we can get any love back in on Archer. But for right now, we'll take out 20% and we'll wait for it. And then the Qs is kind of just going upside. So we had a chance to reload and get out there. We're stopping out if it breaks VWAP. We have less than 5% left. We were lucky that when we came back, man, it was just in free fall. And then we started to get out a little bit there. I know that Joey, yo, what up, Joey? Over there, my guy. This guy has really upped his trading game, so I appreciate that, Joe, for sure. But there you go now. You were also in the short with the SPY, right, my guy? So that was a great trade there as well. And then then when we came back in, we're celebrating like we should, and then it was all the way down in, and that's where we found this level, which was yesterday's close, so we wind up ringing the register on that one. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening, but so far, so good on all of that. And Archer, again, the only position that I'm really concerned about right now, ACHR.
Yeah, unless Novo breaks the high, at this point, I see HIMS as the top of the list there. At least when I did the refresh, HIMS was, I think it's still top of the list. There was a story this morning where they introduced like a menopause and then a whatever, I can't pronounce the other one. Perimenopause, a specialty platform. So that's the story why it's up 10% today on HIMS. The only issue is this. Maybe we get continuation tomorrow. It's right into big time resistance on the chart. So, $60 and change has been a rejection spot. You've had topping tail candles up here just over and over again. So when I see that, like resistance is like it speaks for itself. I almost look at this the other way. If it breaks 60, look for a false break to fade, because that's what's happened every time it's gotten up to the 60 level. You see like rejection, rejection, rejection. So I'd look for like a pop and fade play. If it breaks and then fail break 60, look for the short back through. And Novo is going to be on my mind if that one can break out. I just saw BMNR on the list, in the chat, I should say. My only issue with this stock and the group is if Bitcoin's not moving and ETH isn't moving and they're not really today, then I don't know where the juice is going to come from. So yeah, it slid down with everything else when we went risk off, but it's gotten pretty quiet here. It just went green, which is fantastic. I mean, that's good. Anytime on a day like today, if you can go red to green, I think that's a good story, but just not really seeing the activity there. So HIMS is on the mind. I know it's top of the list, and it's certainly making some moves. Novo is attempting to break out, but like any breakout trade, it doesn't have to. I said 57, but the actual high is, I don't know, it's like 56.94. So technically, it's going to break out before it gets to 57. That's just my limit order. I'm going to try to pick something up in the consolidation as well. If I can get like in front of 80 and just risk to 80, fair enough, I'll just grab that trade. So Novo Nordisk on the mind, and then let us know what else you guys are watching or what we can talk about. Ooh, silver, that's what I forgot to go over. Someone had asked me about silver, and they were like, how far can silver go? You have to pull up like a monthly chart on silver if you want to contextualize what's happening. Come on, now you don't want to load? There we go. To sort of contextualize what's going on here, because this is really starting to ramp, and it's not even that insane. Come on, go further than that. This chart's going to die there. Okay, great. It doesn't go all the way back. But we just made a pretty heavy breakout on silver, and if you look at the measured move, like this is 36 down to 12, and then you're breaking back out at 36, and then you've gone literally like 12 bucks, which is 1/3 of the potential move that this could go like from a technical standpoint. So just from like a long term, like this could really go. It tends to follow gold and go after gold. If gold continues, I think there's a lot more room, but it's a bit of a chase on the shorter time frame here for silver. That's all I want to get at. And even this afternoon, like if you're looking at it, it's just not really doing much of anything in terms of that trade. But I do like that monthly chart. I think you've got some room to go. Just might be due for a pullback first.
All right, man, we talk about it. We got to get into another trade here, but we don't have to, but we just did. There goes the TQs. I'm going to short it right here against VWAP. We do have our stop if it does break VWAP, so we're just going to give it another shot right now, right into that level. Congratulations to all. Wait a second. What is my stop? 70. Okay, breaking of 71. So that's good. I just want to make sure I didn't have the right spot there. I just heard President Trump just signed an order right there to make sure that all active duty are getting paid despite the government shutdown. So I think that's a good thing, obviously, right there. So congratulations to everybody there. I mean, I wish all government workers were getting that, but he just signed that apparently, just heard that in our ears. So we say shout out to that, which is, no, I am not yet. Okay, hold on a second there. My guy, Andre, needs me to do something. But yeah, the TQ, so we just re-engage on this short. We're just gonna give it a little bit. We're not, this position was a monster. Just telling you like it is, but at the end of the day, we're not going to put on the same kind of trade right now at this level. We still are getting much, much closer to VWAP. I am very much a support and resistance guy. That's it, right? Like I just go off instinct. I go off, that trader gut feel, and to me, that's what it's all about, and it's obviously worked, so we're going to stick with what's been going on. And what you guys should do is stick with Global X, because Beta Pro by Global X is Canada's largest provider of levered, inverse, and inverse levered ETFs. It has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs, offering a 3 times bull and of course a 3 times bear, which we like today. Exposure to the which I'm shorting on the Qs. Exposure to the S&P and the TSX 60, semiconductors, and even treasuries. They are offering right now a 65 basis point fee until the end of the year. This is US focused strategy, so they do use currency hedging to offer the potential of the most pure performance and exposure. If you are tactical, sophisticated, and interested in these products, give Global X a try there and look at their Beta Pro 3X product, and we say DX to the market today as it goes to the downside. But we're back, and it's not that bad after all, right? I mean, the Nasdaq's only down 0.64 right now, so we'll have to wait to see if there's any sort of a pullback in again, as we had that drop off. We did have a lot of volume. I asked Adair if there was really any news there middle of the day. Not much that she could sort of isolate, but there were stories coming out. We had Scott Bessent talking again, and any sort of negativity about China or anything like that, gonna hit it to the downside. But it didn't look like we got any individual catalysts. We were just honestly up here. We were just playing this level and thinking that that run was a little too much, and that we've seen a lot of volatility. And again, this is what you got to do as a trader. You got to know the market that you're in. Yesterday we went up and down 1% like it was candy. We do it again here today. So it's like some days you get no movement at all and there's nothing going on. Right now, I feel like the market's jittery and you can get these huge moves, which is why we have this huge move today. Yesterday, we had it at AMD. We've been having it in Tesla, NVIDIA, all these stocks having very much extended moves. So that's how you can have the good days, by being able to take advantage of the market that you're in, right? I mean, this is what we're doing. And if things are wrong, you get out. I don't know, like we're down on NVIDIA today. It's the same kind of thing. We were long, then we were short. And either way, just, nope, not working, we're out. The short eventually obviously worked, but when we were breaking through VWAP and all that kind of stuff, then we got to get out. So we were getting out of that short there, and then eventually, boom, goes a dynamite back into the downside. So actually, you know what? These weren't shorts. These were miscoded. We were long. We were long, which is why I was going to say it's not that bad for me, but we were long there. It came up to VWAP. We got out. Then it broke the 50, and then it came down. So this is actually better risk management than if I was short there. So again, like, you're not going to see big time losses like that. You can see small ones, but at the end of the day, I can look over at the net and I know again that we're right here. We're at 3. Yesterday we were at 4.5. Today we're at 3.5. So it's been a good day overall, and it's a great month. We've really started to up our game a little bit, right? Our style has improved greatly due to patience, and the P&L is following, right? And so not as focused really on the P&L, just focused on the big plays, and yeah, it's really been working out. So, what a great, middle of the year. We'll see if we can. Thanks, Joe. We'll see if we can get that going. Even when you're not on the show, man, you're championing. I like that, Joe. But I just think that you gotta support each other as traders, and I thank Joe, thank everybody for everything that's been happening around here, and I want to thank all the viewers as well. We just took another piece out here at 96 on Archer, only because I know it's only 10 cents, and still have some on, obviously, here on ACHR, but it's coming back in, right? I mean, we're fighting the trend if we don't do that. So there's the 50-period moving average. Now let's see if it goes higher. I didn't want to average into it, so we didn't do that. We're still going to wait on ACHR. And yeah, this reload, I don't know. We could have got it out there for 30, or no, not even 30 cents. Where was that reload? 21s. The most it went down to was 07s. So maybe 15 cents there. We're just going to wait here. I should have done that. But that's 103.60 right there. So we're gonna wait there. We're hearing the Senate is rejecting the funding bill. So
shocking.
Shocker alert right there. There's the unfortunate news is
like
that
at this point,
how come our fiscal system must be completely different?
We're very different.
I never hear anything about us.
Oh, it's way too. The problem is. It's actually a good thing in the U.S. if you really think about it. Like it's just way it's way too easy to spend more money than you have in Canada. But the U.S. at least has this mechanism which is built in so that you don't just sort of spend forever. But
it's got to get approved. I mean, you don't want the debt getting out of control.
Yeah. Like you still have to, I mean, like, we still technically have like the,
How many trillions are we in?
what do they call that, the crown position that still gets a chance to like veto?
Oh, the king or queen or whatever?
No, the governor general.
Oh, the
still
governor
has,
general,
like,
yeah,
this,
it's not
like,
even
ceremonial
really,
BS nonsense.
Yeah, he's not even elected.
We gotta really.
I want to be Speaker of the House. That'd be me.
It's different. It's just different.
I actually, when we had our campus office, I was with David Onley at CP24 when they interviewed me on cable.
Yeah, he had that position.
Yeah, he was not at the time, but he did hold it.
Oh, he had previously here.
Yeah.
So I was going to look at a rejection of VWAP on Apple to get back in. I was short. Well, I was first long Apple and then reversed into a short position. And when it got to VWAP and then reloaded the short and then it came back out. So overall, the long better than the short. But it's breaking through VWAP. So I guess I'm not going to short it because it's breaking through VWAP. Novo just picked up that little dip buy. So I guess instead of it breaking out the top, just bought the dip, whichever one happened first. It ended up dipping and not really getting to 80. I got 84.5, and then we'll play into this high break on Novo. It's a multi-day top break. I don't know how much we have. Oh, we have an hour left. There's plenty of time. I don't know if it can actually fill in the gap today, but this is the kind of play. If it does this, even if it goes a little bit today, breaking through this 57, then I would expect like tomorrow a decent chance to fill in this gap because of where this is going. And then HIMS, which is top of the list. HIMS just went bizarre. Was there a news story on HIMS? The story I gave you guys on HIMS, like that was old. So like maybe something new is happening on HIMS, because I swear I was just reading an old story on HIMS, and then all of a sudden the stock goes like $2.
I just checked. I am not seeing anything other than that story, which was released at 9 a.m. today about their menopause and peri-menopause specialty on their website. And then the most recent note I'm seeing that in Benzinga is just reminding people of that same story at 2 p.m. Again, no news on HIMS, just could be outside strength.
Yeah, and remember, I mean, it's obviously a pretty heavily shorted stock. It's still, what, 39% short float on HIMS. 39%. So this is, like, that's huge. That's one of the biggest short floats. I mean, what's bigger than that? Beyond Meat? Right?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's one.
Well, actually, you know what? That's a good call because I think Beyond Meat
it can't anymore because it's already.
It could. I mean, it was like 60. Yeah, I know. I just wonder, like, is there, because now it's only 70 cents. How low are people holding Beyond Meat right now? Yeah, 54%. What did you say? This was 39?
39.
Yeah, so still 54 for Beyond Meat, but look at that, man, down to 76 cents. And again, they had some zero coupon bonds that got oversubscribed, which means that basically everybody is going for their debt right now because shareholders aren't going to get anything on this stock, and there it goes, man. And you want to talk about a fall from grace. There was a time where my daughter went vegetarian there, and we were sort of going back and forth with different burgers. But I remember I bought Beyond Meat, like they were in Costco and everything like that.
I thought we had the A&W one live on the show once. In like
that would have been Beyond Meat, I think.
Yeah, we literally ate it on the show, and I was like, this is not bad. Like I wouldn't get it.
No, to me it had too much. We did the work. Remember? It had,
way too much sodium. Like it just wasn't healthy for you. And I'm like, look, if I'm eating a burger, I'm not thinking it's going to be healthy for me, but I'm not trying to eat a burger that doesn't taste as good.
The burger is, I think,
and also is way too much sodium in it.
That was the other thing. And I didn't really, the taste for me, the texture wasn't there. But this is what Beyond Meat did. So I mean, this is a monthly. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay.
What?
Oh, that little green one screwed me up. 7, 8, 9. Basically, almost a year straight of no relief other than these little green spots right in there, and then a nice little bounce there, and then a whoopsie daisy. So that is the Beyond Meat journey that they had there. And as everyone was getting healthy eating that, they were also trying to hop on the Pelotones. Shout out to all my Italian friends out there who love the panettone. But this is Peloton, and that goes from 30 up to 180. And then basically at the same time as Beyond Meat, 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. Wow, what a month this was. 4, 5, 6. Anyway.
It was in that group. It was like that COVID group. The Virgin Galactic's chart looks exactly the same. Affirm's chart probably looks, maybe not.
Yeah,
Affirm might not be as bad.
Yeah, Affirm recovered.
But at the time, like the drop was as bad. I missed some super chats. I'm sorry about
the other way.
We missed a bunch.
What?
We missed that many super chats.
Oh,
we got Sam here. Let's go, Sam. Wow, thoughts on Lulu? Looks like it's moving. And then Be Free, thank you. Thoughts on iRobot. So we'll get to all of these. Any news away from the desk? So I'm there was a story on iRobot, but let me just start with Lululemon, if I can.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna get, I'll go back when you do iRobot.
Yeah, well, we'll get to iRobot as the second one, but Lulu, unfortunately, I mean, it's going to the loo and taking a crap. The bottom's not in yet on Lululemon. I think every single time we get asked about, or I get asked about Lululemon, I kind of pull up the same. This is the monthly chart of Lululemon. It is now at the 200 period on the monthly, and we have 2 weeks to go. So if it closes this month, you kind of double bottom of the 200 period, and then technically I'll have a better chance of liking it come, I guess it'll be November. So talk to me at the beginning of November, and then I'll decide whether I think this is a good bounce play. Because it has to actually hold on a monthly chart. Like, I don't care if the support line is on the monthly chart, then to me, it has to close the month holding it. Otherwise, what difference does it make, right? It's like a daily chart. So if that wig is on the daily, I want it opening the next day above it. So it's not there just yet on Lululemon. Patience is required, in my opinion, for that one. And Adara, what's the story with iRobot?
I can talk about the story here. I'll tell you guys about iRobot. So it's weird. So basically 7 months ago, they hired a new CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. Today, she did an interview for a publication, I believe, called Ad Page, where she just talked about the company's turnaround strategy. So there's actually nothing new with the company. But as far as I can tell, the sole reason that this could be moving is that article or that interview with the CMO. And I didn't even see that news until almost 11 a.m. So weird, but I would say you could maybe trace it back to that. Back to you.
I mean, like, we were just going over disastrous looking monthly charts. Like, iRobot's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, well, they had a bid from Amazon, and then it went sideways.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, you know what this might be doing, like a dead cat bounce recovery or whatever you want to call it. It could be something here. And just don't think you're ever getting back to some of those absurd levels that I was showing on a monthly chart. But this is a good trend break. Instead of getting the bottom, there's your 200 period. I like the 200 period for good stocks, or that's the wrong way to put it. No, that's the right way to put it. I like the 200 period for better stocks, but you can do worse than iRobot. I probably won't be involved. The Lululemon, I think, is valid because that's one thing. It's one I did mention. I'm looking for a play in Lulu. I just not yet. Like, I'm willing to be very patient with that stock because it's been an absolute dumpster fire, in my opinion. And so you wait for the fire to look like it's slowing down or being put out, and then maybe I get involved in that long. So I might have to wait a couple of weeks for Lulu. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm already on fire on that stock, so I'm already I'm in there, man. Let that stock burn, and we'll buy a little bit more. But yeah, I like Lulu down at these levels. All right, so there goes the TQQ right now. We just took a piece out there at 41s. It wasn't like all we did was just okay, there it goes. Then we get a 37 fill. As we start to come back down in, man, and we're making more money on this stock right now because we averaged in. We got 1 unit on right now, so pretty good decision so far off VWAP. I don't know, man. I mean, these pullbacks are very, very shallow. So let's wait to see. I mean, we got a little bit of a pullback here. This pullback was almost nothing. That 50-period moving average is right now at 103.20. So I don't even know if I have bids there. I have 103.30s right now, so maybe that comes in. I'm going to cancel the 102 parts. I mean, if we get down into there, that'd be nice. So right now, 103.30s. We'll see if we get some of those. I'm actually at 33, so that would be a little bit of a pullback. Hopefully, we can get that, and then if not, man, we'll stop out right there. And if we get stopped out right there, we'll give back about 5 to 6% of this. So well worth it. I'm trying to put something on here. If I'm still favoring the short in the market, we might as well go, right? Like we said, I got these positions on. We've got Archer, and by the way, let's go, Neil. There it is right there. Another money trade right there for Archer. So we're going to go 2 for 2. We're doing well now, and we read that Archer trade pretty good. We just got out again at 02, so just more outs here as it continues to do. We just get filled again. Oh boy, now here we go, man. This is what we're talking about right now. Nice move to the downside here on the TQ. So this is what I'm saying, right? We host, we trade, we do it all right now, and we're trying to do it with the TQQs. Let's just see how far it goes. I mean, I have no idea how far this thing is going to go down. We'll take another 32 fill right there and just wait for it, man. I'm bidding 26, 27. I'm just trying to add some excitement over here. It's not, there's really nothing happening. But there it goes. Nice move downside for the TQQs. And I think if we could break this 50-period moving average, I mean, look at what and I'm just trading the TQs because it's 3 times the lever, right? And it's just, I prefer trading it rather than trading the Nasdaq itself. I'll just trade the ETF. It's like trading IBIT versus Bitcoin or anything like that. But this 50-period moving average needs to break instead of hold. So it's been holding, and now let's wait to see what happens here if we eventually break lower. There it is. We just got a 27 fill, I believe. Oh, sorry, we're at 26. So we'll wait. Oh, we would have got 27s, but we'll just wait for a little bit of a pullback now. We're short at 50, our out is 70. So this is now 25 cents in the money. So it's already 1-to-1. And if you are that kind of a trader, then you can go ahead there and take it. But there it is. Yeah, you're welcome, Jag. And yeah, we're going to be here as long as I'm allowed to be. And there it goes. Nice move down there on the TQs. Let's just hold out for that. And then Archer, as we said, there's a good opportunity there. That's 1320 for ACHR. So I'm going to put an offer up there and see if we can grab that. That's going to be my next out. So I'm already there. I'm actually over that price. So let me put one right now at 1315 and see if we can get that just ahead of. These are just ideas, these lines, right? It's a 200 period. It's not like it's going to come to 21 and completely bounce. So let's just wait to see if we can get something upside there a little bit, or upside on Archer and downside on the futures. So there it is. Yeah, what's up, Mordenjad and Kyle and all that stuff? Yeah, I'm here to trade that. So let's see what now have. There it goes. Good trade there. I mean, I hope some of you guys are in this. It's a 20-cent quick little win here for ACHR. So I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad it was on the rundown.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even see Archer on the rundown, to be honest.
That was a third name or something? Oh, no, it wasn't, actually. I called it up because of Brian Shannon.
Oh, okay. That's what.
My bad.
That was when you said it, I was like, man.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's not a name that I normally am trading.
I want to get to, there was another super chat, and I know we kind of missed that one as well. Simple advice for a guy that has issues taking profits. I'm always just like, I'll use an example of whatever I'm looking at right now. Because it's like, if you're in a trade, you should be able to explain the trade, right? So if you have issues taking profit, the way that I approach things is no matter what the trading strategy, or because like you could be a breakout trader, you could be support and resistance, like all trend lines, all that kind of stuff. Whatever the premise or thought process or idea for the trade from a risk perspective and why I get in, I want that to inform why I'm getting out and where I'm getting out. So it's as simple as that. So if I'm, like, the example here with Novo, if I'm taking a bull flag setup like this, where I'm buying into this support, and then there's your high of the day, then what I want to do is I want to get in, but I want to make sure that, okay, let's put 5 cents worth of risk or whatever, and it just so happens to be 7 or 8 up at top, but I want to take some profit off at the first level because I'm buying the consolidation and there's my support level. So if it stays inside the range, which is what it's showing me it's doing, then I want some profit out. And am I playing for the break? Sure. So I want one out here, and then once it breaks out, I have 2 ways of looking at it. I know I want to hold something for the gap. If we break out, I'm going to put a trend line on. And if we break the trend line, I either take profit or get out of all of it. So like and I have those rules before I get in, and I can use that for, let's make an example for Apple as well. Like, to me, if you have a trade, you should be able to explain what you're doing and why. So Apple, I wanted to short the volume weighted average price. So what did I do? I waited for it to show some weakness. It held at 250. I threw this trend line up here just from the last time it dipped. It broke underneath the trend line in VWAP, so short. And then my stop is the prior bar high, which happens to be 250. And, well, I guess I should have actually been bidding the 50s here, so I'm going to get in there in front of 50. Because then I look, what's the range? The range is this support here at 249.5, and then down here at 249.25. So I know if my trade is, this is the trend, and it goes from 249.20 up to 50, then I'm short there. I take some out here, I take some out there. Maybe you hold for the dream. And so before getting into a trade, that plan of action is going to be there, because like if they don't have a plan, then it's just sort of like ad hoc everywhere. Is Trump speaking now? Someone just said.
I don't believe so.
Usually if Trump is speaking, we hear some stuff in our ear, which I'm not hearing anything. So if the president is speaking, then I am unaware of it. We did have a little bit of Fed speak today, which moved the market, and then some more, a little bit of trade talk, which moved the market. But as far as I know, the president is not speaking anywhere. Clearly, if we hear anything, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's another short right there, right off VWAP, and again, like, we're starting to go downside again. So 20 cents worth of risk for 50 cents. So there you go, now another 2-to-1 risk to reward there for you. I hope you guys are enjoying the program, make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe, as we're getting turned up again here, man, today. Like, it's just another opportunity to sit down and do something you love to do, and that is, of course, trading. So, Archer, okay, so just so you guys know, I only have about 35% left of this trade, and I'm actually thinking about, I'll put out another, okay, well, I just offered 97 and basically punched out. So, all right, now we have a little bit less. We have about 20% now of this trade on Archer. So each one of these about 10%. We have two outs there, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So we have 20% left. So roughly those have been the outs. We'll wait to see now. We just took down the 50 period almost. So we'll take it out there and we'll see if we can get back to the upside and let this one go, because right now we're spinning it obviously on the futures. We're going to bang on that one, as we just covered a little bit more down here on the TQQs. So that's a good one. All right, HIMS, we were talking about that a little bit. We can go over here and have a quick look at HIMS again. And again, we do know that there is a problem with our positioning board, right? It's not, we're not, it just keeps on turning off and on. So just pay attention to what positions we're in, and then hopefully once we get filled, it'll come back in. But what a move there for him. So yeah, 60 to 64, looking to see for a stop on this. I mean, if you're looking at the daily, I feel like you might have found one right in and around here. So how far could we go upside? What about 66? Here for him, something like that. And I remember Steve Tileman and some other traders were talking to us about hims and hers and all that kind of stuff. And it was a well-loved stock, right? I mean, this is the 200 period. So I just look back, and we talk about buying high-quality companies off of the 200 period moving average. And I mean, you know, since it started becoming newsworthy, I mean, you're back down in here at 10 bucks, and then it held there, it held there, it held there, it held there. So I would say that if you're long off any of these kind of plays, it's been like, if you went long, there's always been pullbacks, but there's also been extensions, right? And this is part of, you're in that extension phase right now. So I always think, I mean, it's just like what you just saw me put out another order for SMR. If SMR gets to 55, your boy is tapping out more there. We just talked about Eli Lilly. We talked about Palantir. We talked about Intel. All these names that have had huge runs and might be worth taking something out. I mean, even the stock that you're in right there for the short Apple had its outs as well, right? I mean, Apple's outs were the same thing on a daily, where we had a nice little run that you don't often see from an Apple. I mean, this goes from August, basically August 7th right here, 200 bucks, all the way up to 260 and new all-time highs in just over 2 months. So Apple doesn't normally have like that 20% kind of move like that in a month, month and a half, 2 months. So once you get up there, I didn't take any off. So this is a bad example for my trading, but just another one that you do get some pullbacks. We've seen it in Uber and all over the place. And Tesla, I think, was another pretty clean example.
Tesla's a great example.
So yeah.
Apple's a good example. It's just
wow,
sometimes you don't want to ever take off certain stocks. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Like, I bought Amazon off a dip on a technical level, and I have zero intention of actually scalping it to the high. I'm just going to hold it forever because I want to own more Amazon, which is absolutely fine
these
too.
futures.
But shout out to empowering women to change the world, because you can make it happen, everybody. The Woman Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. Since 2018, we've reached over 10,000 women and girls, and your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. Scan that QR code you see out in front of you and join now in building a brighter future. Shout out to the Woman Boss. And for the time being, the future is a little bit to the downside in the market as we got to VWAP. And I mean, coincidental, the ES and the Nasdaq both got to VWAP. I mean, Apple went to VWAP, which makes sense. You know, Apple's gonna move along with the market, no questions asked. Not everything is moving the same. I'm just gonna hold on to that. My example is going to be, maybe enter 3 times, is Amazon, which I was just talking about this one with the 200 period moving average. Amazon's a dog, a real dog today, down when the market is slightly up, and it is on track to potentially lose the 200 period moving average with any kind of a further move here today. Like, it's got about 60 cents, or no, 35 or 40 cents, and we could close under the 200 period moving average for the first time since like May. It's the only Mag 7, I believe it's the only Mag 7 name, I'm pretty sure that's going to be true, that has that going for it, which is not necessarily a good thing. All that's left is the earnings low at about 212 for Amazon. But this is a stock that I think will do really well once some kind of a deal is reached. I think you might have to, Kalshi's still saying 36 days. Oh, check that, 37.5 days from now. So, you know, we might be in for a little bit of a wait. Deal gets done before that. I think this is going to be one that benefits well from it. But unfortunately, they seem like they're going to take the brunt right now in terms of Mag 7 land. And I think until the shutdown, averted is not the right way. Until the shutdown is over, these guys can be in a little bit of a penalty box. But I think that gives you a value to be able to dip by in the meantime, I should say.
Yeah, there's Archer. I hope you guys are on that name as well. So nice little victory on that name right there, ACHR. So watch out if you're in this name. You know, you might want to look at it again. It's coming up to the 200 period moving average again. So you know, we'll put this in our cap and you know, just call it a day here on ACHR at some point. We just took another out there at 11s. We were waiting for 15s, remember, but just ripped up there like kind of out of nowhere. So we'll take that, Phil, and then we'll move on that one. And then we did get our TQs, nice little low prints there in and around O's again. So we got 04s. I think we even might have got a 90, Phil, there as it came back in for us as well. So yeah, not bad, not bad. We're happy. We're happy times right now and looking for you guys on some more. So yeah, you're welcome on HIMS right there. That's a nice play, right? Some people in the chat. I want to go over and see what's going on. Where is our board? There it is, 20% right here. Okay, now I think it just crashed. Oh, here it is for me right now. So wow, what is this, HIMS? Yeah, all right, so HIMS is the big middle finger in the middle here, everyone looking at that name. And I know this is a well-traded name, right? I know there's a lot of traders that are always looking over here at HIMS. And yeah, congratulations today, up 20%, a good name to trade options with and everything, so on and so forth. So Tesla right here, 433. Capital One, nice move there. Some of the bank stocks, I mean, today we had actually wanted to talk a little bit about those. BAC right here as we go back and forth a little bit. It's only 3:15, so there's still a little bit of time left in the day to make some more money here as we have Archer now 20 cents and the TQs 40 cents. In Bank of America there, EPS 106 versus 95. So what a smoke show today for BAC, man. I mean, all the way back up into some nice levels here for Bank of America, right? I mean, looking to take out that recent 52-week high. I don't think, I'm going to say this is not all-time highs on BAC, but it easily could be because we've seen the moves up in JP Morgan. And yeah, so yeah, good. Wow. And sometimes we get lucky with what we say. Yeah, but right there, right into all-time highs again. So we're going to get pretty close to that. Many banks have exceeded their all-time highs. It looks like BAC is getting into there. This is just before the GFC. I mean, this is 2006. So you've had to hold stock the whole way right now. And if you had done that, you had to go through a lot, man. This stock went down to Warren Buffett's buy level of $3 right there. Now it's up to 60, so nice, or 55. So nice move there for Sir Warren, as that was a good one. He also got warrants there in the stock. So BAC, a nice little mover today, needless to say, as we can all quite clearly see that. So we'll have to watch out for BAC. Again, 23% year-over-year increase on that one. The other bank that we had was Wells Fargo yesterday. We can have a quick little look at that one. This one really led the way yesterday. Let's see what it's doing today. 37% yesterday, out on another 2% today. That's almost up 10%, and they're taking it out. Remember, WFC had those capital requirements that were on them.
That were lifted.
Yeah, that were lifted, and then so now
that was months ago, though.
Yeah, I don't know when it was. This might have been their first report since they were lifted, but
it's
yeah, WFC, a really nice play, and then yesterday we also had strength in Citigroup, and then today it's that's $100. Okay. Yeah, Citigroup's still, yeah, so Citigroup's had a slide right on the daily and down again today, so that's not good. And then Morgan Stanley, what a quarter for them as well. They exceeded expectations today and up 5%.
Citigroup's
so
down?
They're huge as well. Yeah, Citigroup's daily chart, Neil, is not the greatest here. And I got to figure out, I like Citigroup as one of the stocks that I'd like to get into, but I'm just holding JP Morgan. I said Goldman would be my next choice, but this is another name that's near the 50-period moving average. We just talked about it.
XLF, Morgan Stanley, and then Canadian Bank.
And you trimmed your XLF, right? A couple months
ago. Oh,
yeah.
Well, it wasn't so much that I disliked the XLF. So much that I wanted to be, like, I wanted more alternative fintech and less credit cards.
Yeah.
So, like, that was why I was like, I knew I was buying Webull.
It hasn't really been doing anything, honestly, so.
Well, I don't know. Like, I knew I was going to be buying more Webull. It's just something that's kind of, XLF is, I think it's like 15% a couple of the big credit card names, which I'm like, I don't even like them anyway. So
Right.
like,
Makes sense.
why not trim that and then put that extra 15 or whatever it was that I sold and put it into other stuff. And I bought Webull a couple times. So, and I'm actually going to buy Webull again very likely today. But watch out here. We got another super chat from Pathik, but we're trying to break out. Oh, we just did. So I reloaded up an Apple here at 250. Well, 249.90 something. And it's breaking that 250. So the long was just better off the bottom. It'll stay up because the long was good, but we'll get some back on that short trade for Apple. Ultimately, I was just looking at HIMS, but I guess we got the super chat to go to. HIMS might be trying to make a top, which we'll get to in a bit of a second. Here we go, Pathik. I don't have this key, so Sean's gonna have to hit it. Just hit that money, 30K today. Q's, AMD, and HIMS. What a month. Broke 6 figures today. Congratulations, it's all coming together. Blessed to have the show. Shout out to you, Pathik. That's fantastic. And you know what? The craziest thing, those are the right places to be. Like, look what moved the most. You had AMD early, Q's making the move in the middle of the day with that big tank, and then this afternoon, HIMS is moving the most. So those are easily the 3 things. And there's probably some small cap stock that I'm completely ignoring in there, but those are the 3 things that are giving you probably the most juice. Yeah, there's a topping tail I was just talking about with HIMS at 65. And if you go to the daily chart on HIMS, well, I remember this because Steve Talman was, when he was in the position, I think he was, I guess, trimming up here as well, like 65, 65, 65. There's a wealth of topping tail candles on HIMS up here. The real question you have to ask is what happens when this stock breaks out 73? Because at 39%, I believe we looked at short. Yeah, sure, they've been able to hold up because this is not breaking, but if it does, you got that leg up to 73. So there's some extension that could happen here, as there's probably a few shorts, large shorts, that have yet to actually cover on HIMS, and they're probably holding out for this high 60s level to hold. So you still want to watch this one pretty heavily. And no new story. It's weird. It's all running on an old story.
That's what it is.
Like earlier today. This is just all technical.
I mean, to your point, it's like it's all about stock selection, right? So those are some great names. I tend to trade a lot fewer names than the traders on the show, other than Obi, of course. What were you talking about? No, I only got Archer and TQQs, bro. No. What you got it? You show. All right, so Obi's trying to think about catching. So 64 you're short, 64 60s or so. Yeah, okay. Just giving it, Obi just mentioning it here. So yeah, look, he's looking at this stock, so nice little push back there. I know, I guess you got stopped out of Apple there because we're pretty close right here to the TQQs. So we already took out 40% of our profit down there, and we're coming back in. So no positions, Neil, no, but we do have Archer, which is like, all right, I'm just going to offer some out here. Might as well do that little dance here on Archer, but I did want to show you guys there. Oops. Well, we just offered 14s and it just went to 17s. Thank you, Adara.
Thank you very much, Adara.
You're welcome. Thank you, Adara, for that one. But there it goes there, Archer. And of course, we had found this. We want to thank Brian, and we want to thank everybody as well. Hopefully, if some of you guys took this, I know when I got into this, there was a lot of good talk there in the chat. So I definitely want to thank all of you guys for that one. And then, like I said, this is what I'm in right now. The TQs are looking like they want to take it out. And if they go up to the upside, honestly, fine. We'll get stopped out. That's why. This went all the way to the 200 period. We did cash some out there. So it'll be a profitable trade, just not as much as we had hoped for if the move had continued down. But like we said, man, tight stops. Like I'm sure your stop on Apple was tight. Our stop right here is super tight. So, you got to have.
Depends on the trade.
Depends on the trade. Well, yeah.
I would describe myself as always having tight stops. But I know,
Same.
like, what's an example I want to use? Like, I think, I don't know, like if you were trading BMNR, let's just say. Like that stock, you might have wider stops in the morning, or like, what was the one this morning, the crazy one?
Oh, take your pick. I don't know.
No, the one Joe was trading. Omer. Like if
you're stuck on Coot.
On Coot? Yeah, like Coot's a different story because like Like you're short, well, you're long at 430 here. I'm going to give it the 4. Now that's you might argue, some people would say that's a tight stop, but I think you're giving it 30 cents because the high of the day is at 5. Like you're trying to, like I'm trying to play it to here, which is 30 cents, and then up there, which is 70 cents. So on a $4 stock, it's kind of a wider stop because that's what the stock is doing. Coot being one of the,
that's like an 8% or so stop, but the stock's
up 230%.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I guess technically you could still, yeah, you'd probably still call that a tight stop. So I'm trying to give an example of what a wide stop would look like, and I'm still giving you one that I think is a tight stop. But some people just,
I was trying to say we have tight stops.
Omer, I think Omer would be the example that I would use, because to me, if you had, when I was saying earlier, if you took this at 830, which probably the better place to try to grab these because you have more upside. Like this break here is like 730, and you're giving it to 620. So like that's $1.10 minimum with slippage. So you're probably risking 125 to $1.50, and that's a wider stop in there because you're in it early. Like you're not giving it to the low of the day necessarily unless you're swing trading, but that would be the example. All right, so HIMS is trying to retest that little triple top. I'm calling it a triple top because of this on the daily. It's not a triple top today, but so it's coming right back in. There's your wick top. This is free locates for us. So I'm just sort of looking for this to actually show me another opportunity, because I was talking about something else and on the wrong stock when this wicked to 65. But now it's trying to challenge this lower high at 64, 65. So if we can get that, then I'll look over there. I just saw AMD got to the high of the day again. Good for AMD. The stock is an absolute rocket ship.
Yeah, and here, this is for you, Patrick.
Money.
I forgot that you had asked for that, man. 30K day. That's those are people's years, guys. So that's a great job there, Patrick, and congratulations. You must be putting on quite a nice amount of risk to do that. And we want to just, I hope that you had this Qs trade. I mean, you said that you made some money on the Qs on AMD, so those are some great trades. I wonder if you're trading options or not. Let us know there in the chat. Of course, I'm just trading straight equity, homie. All right, there it is, man. Nice move back down. We just took a 40 fill on this. We still have 50% left now. We only got out of 40% the first time around, and I mentioned that. So right now we'll hold the TQs now and see. We just took a 40 fill. I don't know. Like it's at the 200 or at the 50 period. Still waiting for lower bid here to come through. Sorry. Lower bid to get filled, but we need the stock to go down into those bids right now. So we'll wait and see if that is possible. I'm bidding 103 basically flats, so we'll see if that can come in. And by the way, shout out to Hypercube and to everybody that's with this trade. There goes Archer. Nice move there as well. Okay, let's move on from that. A name that we haven't talked about in ages, it seems like. Where's Palantir at right now? 180 here for the biggest and the baddest of them all. It is Palantir, and not today, only down 0.4 right now as the market's upside. So, you know, government contracts, as we start talking about all that, the government is currently shut down right now. So I don't know what that means if government agencies, obviously they're not. We just heard about Donald Trump signing the bill there, executive order to pay all serving members of the U.S. military, I guess, armed forces, I guess, every branch there, going to pay no matter what. He said the check goes out today, I heard.
Their deals are all so long-term, and I wonder how there could be that much of a negative impact for them. Because
that's what I was going to say.
They must have like 10-year contracts. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't think it's, I just wonder if they're worried about, because government can cancel the contracts, right? So I don't know. I'm not, for me, I'm not worried, but I have gotten out of some of Palantir. I mean, we talked about, you know, the run that this stock has been on, obviously, and you guys all, if you've been watching the show for a long time, you know the story about Palantir and I actually have a hat over here about Palantir. But we got some out here at 160 when it was doing this dip and dive and duck and dodge. And then we got some out, we were lucky enough that I don't know, lucky or not, but it retraced back up in here and we got 182.50 or whatever. I don't even know what it was. But into this area, even let's call it 180, it doesn't matter. But got some more out there, and we talked about stocks double topping and all that. You can always hold for the dream. There's no doubt about that, but this is already a dream, and we don't want that to turn into a nightmare. So we're going to wait on that one. And then, but Palantir for right now, you can see quite barcoding, not really giving any ideas. PayPal, I meant to go in there. The next time the market, okay, still near the lows. Okay, I was going to say the next time the market dips, we kind of want to look at this name. I think I might want to buy some more of PayPal. I'm going to double check to see what we've got in the account. This is only a PE of like 15. So I know fintech names, obviously not the greatest right now. There are pressures around fintech companies just because of the fact that, hey man, there's a lot of competition right now in that sector. And Google's there, Apple Pay. Like now that my wife has the tap on her phone, like she doesn't even know where her credit card is. Just like Apple Pay, Apple Pay, Apple Pay. Google has the same thing there now. And even here in Canada, you can't tap PayPal yet. I'm pretty sure you could do that in the States. I saw Will Ferrell advertising.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So that is something there. And then PayPal still, like you can still use it across many, many vendors, but at the same time, I don't know. Like credit cards, I'll get like 1 or 2% cash back there. And I just know there's a lot about it. You talked about credit cards earlier as well. But PayPal, not a credit card. But
I just don't know what the advantages of PayPal. I only ever speak anecdotally because I've stopped using it myself.
I think it's pretty easy to transfer funds in PayPal. I think it's also a global thing. All the different currencies as opposed to having a bank account. I don't, and some people, not traders generally, don't even want bank accounts. There's tax problems there or debt problems. You don't want to.
You got to watch out for that kind of stuff. I'm not going to name any names, but I will say this. Like I do know of a trader who's like, I should get an offshore account so I don't have to pay taxes on my commissions.
Right.
And all I will say is this. It did not go the way that trader thought it would go. I'm not naming any names. Personally, I would never do it. And I just think, pay your taxes. It's better than the alternative.
I think if you can do it right, I think you should take as many tax shelters.
Oh no, but no, take legitimate tax breaks. I'm talking about. I know
that is legitimate. You just got to open up a company there. You got to do it the right way.
Well, exactly. Yeah. This idiot didn't.
Right.
And
right.
Like I said,
most traders.
I'm not going to name any names, but if you do things the right way, just always be careful. Like there's not, and you just. And I'm not some tax expert.
I would say
always
seek financial advice.
Defer to experts in whatever region you are, because like your trading income. Some places will treat it differently than others, so you want to make sure that you're abiding by all the rules there. And I know for us, we used to, and we don't anymore, we used to actually take our U.S. trading in U.S. currency at the beginning. So we used to have like a U.S. dollar account.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do,
That's true,
but that was something that was pretty cool because then first when you were investing, like, you didn't have to convert. Like I could invest in U.S. stocks and actually add U.S. dollars. But now we just sort of get everything in Canadian, which in some ways isn't as cool. I actually liked it. Like if you made money in Canada, you'd get Canadian dollars, and if you made money in the U.S., you'd get U.S. dollars, and then I'd have an account for both, and then I wouldn't have to worry about when I'm investing one place or the other. Right. It's a pretty decent convenience, for at least for us here. You guys don't care in the States, I would guess.
Do I take the break? What's up, Jameson? ALB, is that Albertsons? Hold on a second, ALB. Albert Marley. Let's check out what's going on here. So, ooh. Huh. Yeah, good question there in the chat. What's up, Jameson? Yeah. Do I take it? Oh, that is 100. Okay. What time is it? No. It's 3:30 right now.
Oh, really?
That is a good.
Oh my goodness.
This is something to put on the yield radar potentially there, Jameson. I do appreciate your rum, though. But right into there, 90. Actually, no, I don't really drink. But right into there, 90.
What? You don't like Jameson?
No, I like it. I don't know enough about rum. I don't know enough about any alcohol really. Like if I have a beer, I'll have like a Canadian or something like generic like that. I have in my house right now. All I have is Heineken. So I don't know. That's what I'm doing. My brother loves craft beer. Like when we went to the game, he's trying to buy all this crazy craft beer. I'm just like, man, just pour me something cold, man, and we'll have that. But
yeah, from the game, I literally don't care.
Yeah, like I Creemore. I don't know if you guys know Creemore Springs, but
it's like, what does the guy walking past me have? You're at the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
it's all the same at the game.
I'm just about the Creemore lifestyle into that. So, but anyways, yeah, it's a good one there. I think that's a good look. So I think you want to look at this tomorrow, Jameson. I just don't know if there's enough time. Like if you run $1 right now, that's 1%. It's almost like it has to have some sort of a news catalyst or something like right now to give me those feels. But yeah, great stock, great look on that one. Adara, I believe.
Kind of an odd catalyst here, but there is a bit of relative volume move on SPHR. This is actually its largest volume candle of the day. So Sphere Entertainment on watch. Individual here on X posting, I guess, a summary of a Bloomberg interview with an individual suggesting that apparently a site's already selected for a new Sphere location in Chicago. It's all speculation right now, but again, the idea that we might get a sphere location in Chicago, sending SPHR to the upside. This is its strongest volume candle, as I mentioned, all day, even more so than the opening candle on the 15-minute chart. Back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Dara. And Corey, I know some people, we actually got that question whether Trump was talking, and Dara already mentioned, like, it's that 3 o'clock talk is, I guess, like, delayed, but it's 3:30, and we know how schedules go with the president. Like, President of the United States, man, you wait for him. It'll happen. It sort of happens when it happens. We were expecting that maybe we would hear from him, but because we haven't, that just is what it is. I did jump into the lower high on HIMS, and I guess we're going right back to it, Dara.
Yeah, I just want to mention, address the Trump conference. Usually by this point, the White House will have a stream ready. Okay, now it looks like we have a stream open, but it has not yet begun. And this just opened because I checked like a couple minutes ago, it wasn't there. So again, now we have a stream at least for this press conference with U.S. President Donald Trump and FBI Director Kash Patel. We have a stream open now. If I get any updates, I'll let you know, but we're already more than half an hour late on that press conference. Back to you.
All right.
Yeah, so we can talk about it in the aftermarket show as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, Neil was just saying, like, maybe it would be something you talk about in the after hours. Yeah, I mean, the thing is once the markets are closed, I mean, we had that cooking oil thing yesterday right at the end of the day, like right now. So if there is anything there talking about it, your boy's already short. So here we go, man. We'll take some more out on the Qs as we get 30s now. So we're back to that 1-to-1. We're actually more than 1-to-1 right now as it continues to fall. And this is where we've been taking a little bit of profit out as we watch it bleed just a little bit. And yeah, man, let's go. Shout out to Hyper and shout out to everybody in the chat that has this one. So it's a money barrel, yo, for Archer Aviation right there. Nice move as it climbs up the leaderboard here today as well. So far so good there as we just hold on to these two names. Big Bear AI, very bearish it seems like today. Okay, not in the last 2 hours, but very bearish early, trying to make a complete V-shaped recovery.
Program buy after on the bottom there, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the same program hit to sell. So you sell it down, you buy it back right there. You're making that moolah, baby. But right into here is what I'm concerned about. We've already got out at 850, so we've done that twice. I have about, I'll double check, probably about 60% left. We talked about getting out of 40% or 30% on the way back up, and I'm just waiting for this to crack a lack. And when it does, then we get going to the upside there on BBAI. So you guys know that we were really talking about this stock all the way down, and it didn't feel very good, but on the way up it felt pretty good, and then we did not average in there, and now it's all the way back up. The BBI brigade is battling every day on our show anyways, the open door army, and this one right here has been great. I mean, the $7 level has been really a nice kick, right? I mean, if you're able to get it here off open 750, it goes to $11 that day. That was probably not tradable at that level, but when it came back in, 7 hit again, nice move higher, and right now we're just off of 7 now. So let's not do any sort of victory laps yet, but it looks like it might want to get to the other side. The other name that we didn't look at very often is this Better Homes. This is another name. Wow.
Yeah, that was the open stock.
Okay.
Right?
Up 8, yeah, exactly. Up 18%, same guy. This is why I'm going up to HUD 8 right now because, wow, EWJ right now. How do I give all of my money to you, Eric Jackson? You seem to be the smartest man in the room right now. As there goes HUD 8 right now. It's always great when you can buy your position and then tweet about it and the minions follow, and that's exactly what happened. Yesterday, we hit this name real nice right about this time when this story came out yesterday in the midday. Well, I guess it wasn't the midday, it was about 2:30 right there, and we were able to hit that long. So that turned out to be decent for us. But yeah, man, Eric MJ, AWJ? EMJ, there it is, EMJ right now. Yeah.
Call him Eric Michael. Why not?
Yeah, printing right there. So yeah, thanks for that there, my guy over there. Joe's, oh shit, Joe. Oh boy. Neil, man, we got another one on here, another banger. Nice move on the TQQ. So again, it just went up there, man. Now we're 3-to-1 or whatever on the risk to reward. So good trade so far as the market goes downside.
Yeah, and we just got that move in HIMS. It basically just gave you the range. So we got that 64 change. You're down into like 63.5. I'll give it one more shot to reload this. It's trading inside of this dollar range, but it hasn't broken down underneath. So trend, it's still technically to the upside, but you've got HIMS down here, up here. as one of the strongest names in the market. There is the imbalances coming up very quickly. HIMS is a small sell right now, which is probably the only reason I want to reload it up here. 800,000. If it comes out bigger than that, I think it'd be a big deal. But that's the only name of any remote consequence on this list, only because it's in play. BMNR is an early look sell of 700,000, but none of these names are all that significant. The big cap tech names are all Nasdaq, so you won't get anything on them till about 350. So HIM's going to look for that reload. If that comes out a buy, it's going to swipe up anyway, but my stop is this higher low wick that's in here on HIMS. So looking for some follow through. Probably the last thing before the imbalances come through for me is going to be this HIMS, with only about 10 minutes to go, everybody. And as we said, the aftermarket show tonight, we have a lot to cover, and then maybe the president says something interesting, and we'll just keep our ear to the ground. You just don't know when he's going to move the markets. It's like 9 times out of 10 he's not going to say anything that will. It's that one time when you're not paying attention that you got to make sure you're engaged, because he really shocked us. I mean, he really shocked the system with that soybean. I guess I don't even know what to call it. Well, I'll call it a fiasco. We'll call it the soybean fiasco.
Yeah, it's a good one over there. Okay, at 338, so no fiascos over here. Just these kind of trades. Shout out to my guy over there, Joe, man. I cannot wait till we're all together, because then we can celebrate our chicken dinner winners right there. As Joe and I will pretty much be the ones to trade the futures. I know Obi will sometimes over there as well. Joe in crypto and futures, and I think he and I trade very similar. So good job, Joe, on that one. Glad to have you still sticking around, my guy over there. Yeah, man. For what the bell tones right now as we continue to bleed down. And yeah, this is not, this is not anything, as I already said, I expected this. Like, I can never judge the move. Like, I don't know how far we're going to go down, but I mean, we're short the market. We're short the market. We're short the market on VWAP. I should actually probably tag Brian Shannon on this post, but there it goes. Nice move down, because this is VWAP. So again, man, short there, short here. You can go find it right now. We just posted it up right there. Short there, boom, to the downside. I should have made a mark there about VWAP, but like I said, just giving some opportunities. And it's not like we're all short. I'm basically just looking at technicals, right? And Archer, I'm, you know what? I'm basically out of Archer. I have less than 10% left on ACHR. So we'll there we go. We get it out at 11s right there, 10s, I guess. Nice move out. We're done with Archer. So that one gives me what we need. So now we just wait and see what winds up happening now with the Qs, man. We are almost in the vaunted club. We'll do this for you, Ozan and Sebastian, and everybody that's watching us. We want to give a big shout out to all of you. Other stories that we're hitting around today. I mean, I always like to look at Sharif's list. Again, you can go in, join us up, get this list right now. Alphabet, Waymo, robo-taxis, all of this. Use Elon Musk, the Tesla pay package. You can become a member just by going in for $5 a month, hitting join, and then getting this sent to you every single day. Today, this is how many pages? 11 pages. Apple gains market share in China. Even if you're just looking for a read while you're on the can, this is a great thing to get through, man. Microsoft expands its AI partnership with NewScale there going on. Pony AI and WeRide, Hong Kong. There's just so much stuff in this, and you can become a member for just $5 right here. And this is what you want to do. You want to go over here and hit this, hit join right there. And when you do that, Brendan will start talking to you, and you'll be like, be quiet, Brendan. I want to find the membership, and here it is right here. You're going to hit join. You're going to go to the morning research note. You're going to get this Randy emoji as well. You're going to get Obi right there. You're going to get the handsome Joe right into there. It looks like Sharif's applying for a job here, but there's Sharif as well. So, yeah, you're going to get all of us, and you're going to get a lot of information. So make sure you do that. There it is. What's up? Here we go. This is what it looks like right here in the chat. Things that make you go, right there as we get some Riz going. But it's a nice move to the downside here for the TQQs, man. Hey, when you're on one, you're on one. And that's what we're on right now. And we're just glad that you guys are here with us, man. The energy, as long as I'm in this seat, man, it's not going to stop. So shout out to all of you. I hope you're having a fantastic time. What up, Miss A?
Yeah, for one, as you can see in the bottom of your stream, Trump just began his press conference. It was scheduled to start at 3 p.m. It just began now. The White House feed of said conference is now live. I'll be covering that for you guys. As it was mentioned, he is hosting this, for lack of a better term, with FBI Director Kash Patel, but other members of his cabinet seem to be present as well. I'll keep you posted if there is anything market moving. I also want to let you guys know, just posted here on X at TTV Research, here's a look at the earnings to expect tomorrow after the bell and today after the bell and tomorrow morning. United Airlines and JB Hunt both reporting tonight. UAL with a 6% expected move, and TSM, probably the most closely watched name, reporting tomorrow morning here with an almost 5% expected move. Again, X at TTV Research for all those expected moves. And if you want to check out UAL earnings with Neil and myself, make sure to join our market recap at 4 p.m. Back to you.
It was the TSM earnings, and I have nothing against UAL. Of course, we'll talk all about those earnings as they come out, no questions asked, and it matters because maybe some people hold on to them. I don't like the airlines personally as an investment, but TSM at the highs, big time report. This is going to matter to the entire chip space, right? You can always say price to perfection, all that kind of good stuff, but when you're at the top, it better be good. It's that simple. Now it's going to be overnight, so we'll be right there in the morning. That's going to be the value again of that note with the membership, is because of the entire rundown is going to be there of those earnings and the implications, and then we'll talk all about it. But this is the one that matters. To me, anyways, in terms of a litmus for the overall market and most of the chip names that we're looking at. I'm not saying it'll alter the plans on AMD, but you come in like bullish for a couple of days on AMD. My default usually on the third day is to still be bullish for more continuation. TSM's exactly the kind of stock that could say otherwise. And then you just have to adjust to whatever they say at 2 a.m. Overnight. And a great opportunity there might be some extra volatility in Blue Ocean for some of those chip names leading into that as well. So for the Blue Ocean traders, maybe NVIDIA is more exciting in the evening before TSM reports. Who knows? I'm not a Blue Ocean trader myself because, don't have the time for that. We tried it once, the whole overnight trading. We would trade the London Open. I remember back in the day, that was a mess. You need to sleep. It was, for some traders, they're like, yeah, you could do it, but you weren't making enough money that it was worth it. And then you tried to trade the US session, and then I was just dog tired. I'm like, I can't do this. And no one was making that much money for that overnight game. But kudos if that's your game.
Yeah.
I know, because I know. So
I traded overnight and made a lot of money, so that's why I'm staying away from this conversation.
It was really good. I did it for a week and a half.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good. I remember doing settlements. It was good, but the stuff that we were doing in the middle of the day was 4 times as good at the time.
Yeah. But yeah, I know Obi and Joe sit there and trade.
Yeah, it's a different beast now. I'm not talking about Blue Ocean. I'm talking about 15 years ago trading the London Open, which is very niche.
Yeah, those were the days. Okay, we're just spitballing here. 3:45 right now. Let's have a quick little look at the imbalances. So right now, these are just from our broker. So these are going to be all NYSE names. So once they become active, so these are just all the updated times, right? So there's really nothing happening right now in any of these names. So we're just going to have to wait. In 4 minutes, you'll get Nasdaq, and these will all update. Remember this morning we had it was a lot of buys, and it was like B. Well, we did hit down, and then it just ripped in the rest of the morning, and then we had this move down. And right now we're just kind of hovering around. We've been clearing out. We got out of Archer, and we're still holding on to the TQs, but the Nasdaq right here does look, to me, pretty mixed here. The top 3 are all buys, but these will all change, man. Like CVS, wow, that's $81 now. That thing must be on a run too. Oh my gosh. Wow. Some of these names, this is July, CVS, man, $60 name. Get your drugs right now. That's a nice little move up. Hey man, the drug game must have some nice margins in it, if you know what. But anyways, there it goes right now.
The best margin.
Yeah, the best
just
margin.
Ask Cheese, man.
Yeah, just ask Cheese.
We selling dope and coke in Baltimore. Anyone that ain't got that kind of scratch need to be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. We're lucky to be able to be making money like that and trading stocks, which is completely legal, thankfully. We are excited for the PDT rule to start to change. I don't know when. Shout out to Adara. When does PDT rule change to 2000? Adara, do you have a date for us? I don't think there's a date yet. I think it's just I'm going to see if Adara.
I thought it was up for discussion, and it's not.
It's been approved by FINRA. I just don't know.
It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't know when that is, but you guys are going to be excited for that. That has nothing to do with the trading we're doing here. This is prop trading. So also in Canada, where we are located, of course, we don't have any. I had no damn PDT rule up in here, so we just trade very freely and frequently. But this is just, this is prop trading. We had the guys from Trade the Pool on, of course. You weren't here Monday, which was a lot of fun there with Mitch and whatnot. They got me to produce a few videos, so you're lucky, Michael and Mitch, right there. We'll send you the bill later. But that was a lot of fun as well as myself and, what's your company called, Joseph, over there? We've got Katina Capital's in the merging. Wilson Cap, how original. Okay, so Wilson Capital over there and Katina Capital looking for a merge right now. So we'll see. I think that merge is going to happen soon, man. We're waiting for, we're very, very soon, man. We're very excited. We'll get through there pretty soon. If we can merge both of us, man, the option.
You should say Joey. It should be Joey Dubs Cap.
Something
like that. Wilson, Joey Dubs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Wilson Capital. I mean,
I like Joey Dubs.
I'll take it. So we're gonna, if we can merge this with the option side of things, man, Neil, the sky is the limit, my guy. So we're getting ready for that one. We're having a lot of fun here as well. SoFi, oh, don't even mention SoFi. SoFi was $28 as it was written, and there it is right now. It's right back in. That was the mistrade of the morning. We had it right here on our note, and it was 28 long, and I forgot to put the bid out, and it went right into there. We would have been long, man. I always bid 28.20s, 28.15s. That goes into 28.08 right there off the open, and then it just ripped $1. But look at SoFi right now, coming back in, man, with this market. So I like SoFi. I think we'll be trading this tomorrow. So let's pay attention to when SoFi moves around tomorrow. I think with bank earnings now, SoFi is in 2 weeks. I think it was 13 days we wait for SoFi earnings. But SoFi, so good. If you're being long on that, it's been a great little run for SoFi shareholders. Congratulations.
Yeah, and with 30 seconds to go till the imbalances come out, nothing really changing on the early look. I mean, HIMS is a smaller, that's 800,000, it was like 900,000 before. That's getting smaller, which I don't like. So I tightened the stop because the imbalance is getting smaller.
Yeah.
So it was close to 1 million shares, and now it's only 800,000. So I was giving it to 50s. Wow, I'm only really giving it to 30 at this point. Nothing really standing out there. Watch out for potentially like NVIDIA on a day where the market was this volatile. You might see that show up. Oh, and there it is. NVIDIA 4 million to the sell side and nothing else. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Oh, no.
I mean, you know your boy.
I already had an offer.
All right. We know we're already short right there. So you're in HIMS right now, so we'll see what that's doing there on HIMS.
So I was short, and it tanked 70 pennies on me.
Nice.
But I went to punch out, but I already had a bid, I just overfilled long and got out, that's all.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't ever, so right now, just so you guys know, man, I'm only in like 30% or so of this position on the TQs, but we're going to hit it right now, man. It's been a good one right there. We say,
thank you very much.
Thank you, Adara. And we don't do roll call too often. I'm not going to do it now, but I do want to thank every single one of you that is in the chat, man. You guys are all seeing this right here. Now we're $1 in the money. We gave 20 cents worth of risk. This one right here, a 5-timeser right there as we go. So yeah, man, we're really happy with the performance today, man. 5 times R to R right there on this move. So far, so good. We just need to get some more out. So there we go. Get out at now at 70 as we got to start clapping out. I got to go to the doctors today, get the okay. Hopefully everything's cool with the eye, and we'll be back in here tomorrow. But we're looking forward to that one. So I'm out of here right away. You're going to join Neil and Adara on the recap show. It should be a lot of fun as well. Thanks, Mike Peter Ryder, man. You're welcome. I don't want to. We've been talking about this before. Like, I don't want to just keep on saying like, wow, what a great trade and stuff like that. You guys can clearly see them. So I want to thank you for doing that as well, Mike Peter Ryder, because it does, we are a team around here, and I do appreciate all the good talk from everybody there in the chat. So yeah, man, great trades all about here this afternoon. And yeah, all you're trying to do is, have a good time and put on some good trades. And I think we're accomplishing that as well. But yeah, Omer, I didn't trade that today, Lena.
Omer was only Joe, because I guess following his inner Sharif, because I think that might have been up Sharif's wheelhouse. I don't know, because I don't think it held VWAP out there. But Omer, that was a tricky one, because as far as I'm concerned, at the open, when we do the morning show, if a small cap loses VWAP, sometimes it's better in the afternoon or during the middle of the day when it catches that bid. So for me, that was an absolute nothing burger. Like, he took the shot at Coot, and Coot didn't go. Just very quickly, HIMS actually did not come out as much of a sell. So it ended up working, but the imbalance of 800,000, it came out as like nothing. I did accidentally, when it bounced off 63, I was already bidding in front of 63 and got long. Actually lost on the long a little bit, but I had to punch out of it very quickly. You always want to make sure. I tell traders this all the time. If you're bidding lower and it kind of slams down, and it's like, oh shoot, it's not going to fill me, don't cross without canceling your order first, because then you could overfill on one swipe, and that's what happened. But we want to show you were just talking about trade the pool, being here on Monday. Well, instead of risking your own money, everybody, how about trading with somebody else's capital? No more fear of losing, no more moving your stop loss too soon. And you can actually get enough capital to make it worth your time, so you can aim for bigger profits and not just a couple hundred a month. The revolution is called limited risk trading, and it's powered by Trade the Pool. It works by joining Trade the Pool, hitting the profit goal, and keeping 70% of the profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now in front of you for 10% off. I want to show the boys. I did miss them on Monday, which could have been there. Unfortunately, couldn't be. We did miss this poll, which
I'm just glad we got your bail sorted out.
Obviously, you know where I voted. Like, let's be real for a second. League Championship Series, Game 3, Mariners need 2-0. Blue Jays or Mariners. I'm voting for the Blue Jays. If I was, okay, let's be real, I'll bet on us today. Would I bet on Max Scherzer in Game 4? Of course, I hope we win this series, but I would not bet on Max Scherzer in Game 4, even though the guy is a Hall of Famer. He's just
boom. He's our most celebrated pitcher, I would guess.
He's the first ballot Hall of Famer and a legend, but he doesn't have it this year. He ain't got it.
I wonder if there was a trading Hall of Fame. I think Neil would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But here it comes right now, man. We're putting our case in as well. As there it goes now, $1.20 in the money right there. We just got a 33 fill. As there it goes, man. Everything collapsing in right now for sure. So there it goes, man. Continues to the Dow. So I want to thank Patrick again for his awesome super chat. And I mean, Patrick, man, if you hit, you might be up. If you're riding with this guy over here, you may be up more than this 30K right now. I don't know if you put something else on over there. Wilson Capital, Katina Capital came together. We are now short right now. This guy's short the SPY. I'm short the TQs, and we're printing right now. So thank you, Patrick, for your bill 50, man. That means a heck of a lot for us. We wish well wishes to Sharif. He'll be back in hopefully tomorrow, and then we'll have all the boys back. But I want to thank Obi's right here to the side of me. I want to give Obi a big shout out. The guy's been filling in for Neil all last week, for me when I got my operation. And then I'm not here on Friday because we got a hockey tournament, so we're doing that, man. You want to talk about?
Where's it this time?
It's right here in it's right here in Etobicoke. It's right where it's called Pink the Rink. It's right where it's for cancer research, and it's where the Leafs play.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
It's called Ford Performance Center.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So you're at Ford too? Well, that's where we are all the time. Yeah, that's where my daughter plays out of. So, but anyways, yeah, she was up at 5:30 this morning and getting that practice in.
I should probably cancel.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an awesome. I know the thing about Seattle with the Jays going there is always a lot of Canadian content there. So I'm crossing the border over there from British Columbia.
There's going to be a lot of Canadian fans.
That's the thing. So we'll see tonight, Wagwan there, as I think the Jays wreak some havoc tonight and get the W. Could be a blowout, so get ready.
I actually think it might be a pitcher's duel. I'm thinking like 4-2, something along those lines. I think Bieber does well, but they got a good pitcher too. I'll give him credit. So market down. Silver ended up breaking out, everybody. So I know tomorrow, hi-ho Silver again.
Hi-ho, hi-ho.
It's off to, it was a bad wick. Silver broke out, but it's still fresh, all-time highs. There's still plenty of room for this bad boy to go. I got to get up to the desk in just a quick little second, make sure everything is going to be set up. But it's been a great day of trading. I just want to point out, somehow magically, AMD did not really pull back off the highs. The stock is built different right now. It doesn't have to make sense. And do I think the valuation between AMD and NVIDIA is reasonable? I don't think so. I think it's too big of a gap, and it makes NVIDIA kind of a value play versus AMD, but the momentum says otherwise, and you just kind of got to go with it. It probably breaks 240 tomorrow if the market's not falling all over itself, and I just feel like you got to,
over there.
You almost have to just grit your teeth and take it up here on AMD. Not that I'd buy it in the long term.
Yeah. All right, so here we go, man. Only 3 minutes left. Again, you know, everyone that's been with us all day, let's just go for it right now. Let's go for a little bit of a roll call right here. We have over 755 votes right now. Ooh, 53-47. I'm going to give a big thank you to who's here right now. Thank you to Rainmaker. We always are seeing you here. CivC, all these members. XABO, thank you so much. New Loon right now. Let's all wave at each other. Hi, everybody. I hope we're all having a great time right here as well. But here we go now. What's up to Matt Malone there? What's up to Charles? All the cream. This is actually hard for me to see with my eyes. What's up to Ozan, Travman, XABO? Someone asked a question, why don't I use black charts? Because our producer believes white charts look better. Shout out to Brendan. Right there, Bristol, Vincenzo, Buffalo Soldiers, Mike H. Santo, Grant, Cookies here, Pelican is here, Kirk Brooks is here, Matt Marine, the Rainmaker, Arun, what up Arun? Mr. Easy Street, the best street ever. What's up Harsh? What's up Pelican Man, traveling? T-Money is in the building. Hi, says Jonathan. We really appreciate all those waves. Erie Pages, man, you are always here. We really want to thank you for being here as well. Everyone that's here, Patrick, thank you so much, man. You deserve a lot. Thank you so much for that. And anybody that's here, Big 40, everyone, man. Big Worm, Northwest Sasquatch, Kanye West is in the building here, I see as well. What's up to Josh Davis? Yo, Kanye, man, drop another album. I'm waiting for that. What's up to Pelican as well? Smooth One. And what's up to Central C is in the chat here as well. What's up to Dijon Mustard here? What's up? DJ Mustard also in the chat. And Mr. Englewood, thank you so much for all of that. Some of those people I shouted out may or may not be in the chat. All right, thank you so much. We only have 1 minute left. Oh boy, what a day, man. The Nasdaq goes out right there up 0.63. The SPY, we don't even need that. These ES down or up 0.3. You know what we didn't check in on today? Let me check out on what my necklace is saying. What's up with gold right now? 387. Nice move today, up another 2%. What's going to hold me down? Nothing is holding down gold these days, and neither is copper. We did have our good friend COPX. One day I'll do this show by myself. Nice move to the upside right there. I don't think I can handle that, man. Too much talking. Although I did it one time when we didn't have all the boys here. But there it is. Nice upside move for copper. Maybe this is basing out a little bit as well. All right, the countdown is ready to go. Do I have to hit this, Andre? I can never remember. Andre's going to do it. All right, here we go. With 2 seconds left, the countdown is now on. There are some earnings. Stay tuned with Adara and with Neil. They will go over all that. I got to go see my, whatever you call the guy with the eyes. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Oh, I still have some TQQs. That's good. I have a very, very small position left on that one, so we're just going to punch out right now. Thank you so much for watching today. It's been obviously a big day. P&L-wise, good feel-wise. Thanks, Obi. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Adara. United is now out, so UAL now out, so that should be good. $2.78 here. You just tell me when we're ready, because I got to get out of here as well. United Airlines right now. Give that a quick look over here. There it is. So not moving too much, but up about 1% here on UAL. All right, man, I've been chugging this back. I got to continue to do that. Ciao till tomorrow, everyone. It's the recap show. See ya.
Welcome to Market Recap, brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex. Starts right now. So Huadunk there in UAL earnings, which just dropped seconds ago. It was running higher. Right when we were switching over, it was 104 to like 105.5. It then flashed down to $101 and now back into the green. This is why you don't get whipped around in this nonsense. UAL is just going like $1 at a time here. Like if you look at it, like the spread's $1.50 on UAL. Like 105 to 106.5 is, I don't have the numbers over here yet, Adara. I don't know if you've got them, but this is the big earnings name. Later tonight, we're going to get TSM. I think that's a bigger deal for earnings, but UAL out right now here. And yeah, for now, it's right back into the upside. So back into 107 and continue to trade higher. Bit of a fake out and shake out to only end up 4% here, UAL.
Yeah, it looks like diluted earnings per share, $2.90. I was seeing estimates of $2.64. Even their adjusted diluted earnings per share, $2.78. So either way, like, it looks like we beat estimates here. Q4 adjusted diluted earnings per share, they're guiding between $3 and $3.50. Let me see if I can find the revenue. I'm just reading through the report right now. Capacity up 7.2% on a year-over-year basis. Total operating revenue, $15.2 billion. I was seeing estimates of $15.27 billion, so more or less in line, up 2.6% year-over-year. There's some abbreviations I do not know, so I'm not going to read those out here, but it looks like they do seem to be down year over year. But again, not sure if that's good or bad. Trump just started taking questions. I'm going to keep looking here for, I guess, a more comprehensive look at the UAL earnings, because all I have right now is the literal earnings report. Benzinga doesn't have the Cliffs Notes yet.
Well, the Cliff Notes must be good either way, because UAL continues to power to the upside, which is not what the market was doing at the end of the day, everybody. What we really had was a bit of a reversal. We started off with good earnings. We have a little more from UAL. We do have to talk about the banks as well when we come back. But UAL, more of an update because it's right back at the highs.
Let's do it. Yeah, so I mentioned that Q4 adjusted earnings guidance, $3 to $3.50. That is above estimates of $2.82, so that's a great look. In terms of the actual numbers, as I mentioned, I was seeing, as far as I could tell, that they beat EPS. They did beat on EPS, but their revenue, as I said, pretty tight. It does look like that was a miss. $5.2 billion versus $5.29 billion expected. EPS down 17% year over year and 28% to the downside quarter over quarter. Revenue, as I mentioned, up 3% year over year. Let me see if there's anything else I can mention here for you guys. Yeah, like I said, that revenue, a little bit of a miss, but if anything, more in line. They do plan to invest over $1 billion more in 2026, and they see economy and demand improving in Q4 25.
Well, I like that. They see it improving, but investing more costs money, and you just pull right back into where everything started. Yeah. So UAL, it's flying around, pun intended, it's flying around, but just notice that there is not a lot of liquidity out here. This is not, it's not like NVIDIA reporting where it's going to be absolutely, tons of traders that are interested. But unfortunately, the bid losing just a bit here on UAL. Overall, pretty good. Can't really complain about that number. At the end of the day, you're priced to perfection, and the stock was trying to break out pretty much this high here at 110 and unable to do so. So it doesn't look like it's good enough just yet. Adara, it was certainly good enough for the banks this morning. Got to give a big shout out to Morgan Stanley for absolutely crushing it this morning. Morgan crushing it. No questions asked. It's been pretty good for the banks, but like everything else, you saw the sell-off at the end of the day in the futures. It didn't matter. They beat. They had a record EPS. BAC beat. They had a great number. They tried to press some highs, but it was a day of profit taking despite the fact that there was massive beats across the board. And that just follows up with what we already had, because we had some big beats yesterday in the banking space. JP Morgan doing fantastically, and now you follow suit with Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, Charles Schwab is going to be the last of these semi-major banks to report. They're going to report tomorrow morning. And, I mean, let's see if they do a double beat, because, Neil, that is the standard here. Every single bank, all 6 of the major banks we've seen so far have given us double beats. And I honestly think if Charles Schwab doesn't, not that we have any reason to expect they won't, but I think a standard has been set. I'll put it that way. But yeah, Morgan Stanley and BAC with a great report. Let's talk though about ASML.
Yeah.
Their Q3 report a little bit mixed. Initially, the response was really positive, and then it basically sold off immediately off the open. We do have JB Hunt earnings as well. I'm going to be reading through these, but immediately what I can say is apparently, according to their own report, their Q3 revenue is flat on a year-over-year basis. Operating income, though, up 8% year-over-year, and diluted EPS up 18% year-over-year. Once I get a better sense of how that compares to estimates, I will keep you posted. But again, flat year-over-year revenue, not always a great sign. But how did you feel about ASML here, Neil?
Oh, fantastic. What you love about ASML is they told you they're concerned about growth next year in China. Look, at the end of the day, if things get resolved and maybe you lessen some restrictions, that's going to be great for ASML. Big client, you're not going to have growth in chips without them. You can't make advanced chips without their their lithography machine. So at the end of the day, I think they're going to be fine, but the markets seem to buy it up anyways, which is fantastic. The other name that we got to talk about, I know you just saw that on that list, Alphabet and Waymo. Now, I don't know that the Waymo headline is enough for what Alphabet did today, but it doesn't matter. Alphabet was still 2 points into what was a pullback. It ends up closing like AMD, closing near that high. So that's some relative strength. Market pullback, this barely pulled back off of that top, and it's the Waymo headline. They're going into Europe. They're going into London. They're ahead of Tesla, which is a big deal. Everybody knows autonomous driving is going to be a big thing, and you always have to remember, you got all the levers with Alphabet. This is just another one that they can pull with automated driving, and another way that they happen to be winning here, Dara. But speaking of automated driving, Tesla?
Oh yeah, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's not even on here, but yeah, Tesla. I mean, doing really well in China. Week over week, their weekly registrations up like 126%. But will Elon Musk get his $50 billion or $56 billion pay package back?
That man is money.
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. Either way, though, I don't think that'll really impact the voting that we're going to get happening on his next pay package. That's going to be November 6th. And as I've mentioned, all of these diehard Tesla shareholders that are going to be voting, they've been really being very active about encouraging people to make their votes. But the other thing, too, is that they're all very loyal to Elon Musk. So the chances of this pay package getting voted in, I think, are pretty high. I want to mention, too, JB Hunt earnings story, Neil, before I transition to the next story. This is an impressive little double beat. I did mention revenue was flat year over year, but it still did beat estimates. $3.053 billion versus $3.021 billion expected. And I want to talk here about this Q3 EPS beat, Neil. As I mentioned, they did have an 18% year over year increase in EPS, but like when you actually look at the numbers, it's kind of staggering. $1.76 versus $1.47 expected. But also maybe unexpected, Apple gaining a sliver of market share here in China. And interestingly enough, I was seeing apparently Tim Cook has reaffirmed Apple's support for manufacturing in China. So he's like basically playing all of the directions. At the same time, apparently they're trying to get around some kind of loophole there. They're trying to lobby the Indian government so that they can avoid certain taxes on their iPhone production in India. I'm like, Tim Cook is cooking in every continent right now and trying to figure things out. I mean, I guess those are the same continent, but you see what I'm trying to say. The point is, I think there's a lot happening here with China, but there's also a lot happening with Stellantis.
Here's, at the end of the day, it's less than 1% year-over-year growth for Apple in China. It's 0.6%. But you know what? You know who didn't grow over the last year? Their competition. Xiaomi did not. Oh, sorry. And Samsung as well. So that's, I think, the bigger story is that relative to their two biggest competitors, they had slight growth. That's a good sign for Apple. Maybe not reflected in the stock price today as much as you would like to see because they're really only up 0.5%, but that's where the positivity comes from. And they just came off testing the all-time high, and I get it, the market's a little bit frothy. So maybe that's a little bit of the reason why Apple didn't react maybe the way that you wanted to, but a good look for those China shipments, no questions asked. And just to go back and talk about China for a second here, because we're like a lot of these themes that we're mentioning go back to China. So whether it's ASML, whether it's going to be Apple here to a certain extent, Tesla, remember, in terms of the reaction that you may or may not see for positive news, we just got a big shock from the president in more disruption between the US and China, and you're going to need to see some resolution, I think, for some of this better news for the highly tied in China names to get a secondary push. I think Apple is exactly the perfect example. I think were it not for the last couple of days of speculation between Xi and Trump and the back and forth, I think this would have taken out that top and maybe continued a little bit better and be up a couple of points today. But unfortunately, if you have China risk, you're not going to go as far as you might otherwise. We saw it reflected with NVIDIA. We saw it reflected with Apple today, despite the good news.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk too here about Stellantis because I think the more interesting aspect of the story is not the investment, but the reaction from Canada. So, yes, Stellantis apparently announcing a $13 billion investment in the U.S. We know that the Trump administration has been encouraging these companies to invest in the U.S., specifically for auto production. We know he told Mark Carney, like, we don't want cars produced in Canada anymore. We want them produced in the U.S. That just happened last week. Well, apparently, Neil, later today, and oddly, Stellantis moved up on this, which is not what I was expecting, but Canada apparently warning Stellantis that, hey, if you do all this U.S. production, if you move all your Jeeps over to the U.S. instead of producing them here, we're going to sue you. So that, again, Stellantis apparently did not mind that story because it actually moved higher. But either way, interesting stuff here for STLA, I think, and I want to know what the next move here is because stakes are pretty high, I would say. Although, again, the stock doesn't agree with me, but...
Well, this car business, it's such a hard business, man. And I find, like, everybody's chart looks like trash. I mean, some look a little bit better than others. So I'm struggling to find anything positive because I'm not going to be invested in Stellantis, and I never have been, and I don't think I ever will be. But I sort of agree with your point there. But you know what? I'll stay away because at the end of the day, I really do feel that when you're you can trade the lows on these auto companies. And everyone's trying to make a shift into EV knowing that that's the future. It's incredibly expensive and no one makes money doing it.
Yeah.
So this is a really bad time to really be hoping for some good fundamental numbers out of them. And so they're going to be in the doldrums. Like, I can't even get remotely excited about them in a world where we're buying all of the dips and everything AI related until that bubble bursts, and maybe that'll be the moment that you take a shot here. They're not going to be Tesla at this particular point. You're not going to get that meme craze, and I have a bunch of other levers that they can pull. So, without kind of dragging too much on Stellantis, not my cup of tea personally. But I can tell you, as I said, like, there's always going to be something for everybody. Yeah. And I know there's one more story, but I just have to say something, because I just saw in the chat there Rick, and he just said AMD OMG. And you know what? AMD didn't have a story today at all. AMD? It had a story yesterday. Yeah.
Apparently, it had a good HSBC price target.
Okay, well,
but yeah,
fair. It was really the Oracle story, the order of 50,000 chips from Oracle, and it moved more today, the day after, than yesterday, and it did so in the midst of NVIDIA falling like a dog all morning long. So it was relative strength. It was a blowout. This is the thing that I like to pay attention to. Like, I want to see a good-looking chart. I want to see something breaking out. AMD is what you wanted to see here today. Do I think it's a little bit overvalued? Sure, probably. But it doesn't matter. You can see it going. You play the long till it's wrong. Sean liked it long yesterday. I liked it long today. We'll probably default to liking it long tomorrow, barring something else. But it was a story from yesterday that had this one going. And it just goes to show, when we go over all of these news stories, don't just mail it in because, oh, well, that stock was in play today. Who cares about tomorrow? It's in play for a few days, right? So when we're talking about HIMs that went absolutely ham this afternoon, Adara, and it wasn't anything too crazy. It was a story earlier this morning, and it went meme crazy in the afternoon. Don't just write it off tomorrow. Stock was up 15%. So if you're a trader and you're looking for what's in play tomorrow, it's in play by default because of what it did today. And AMD proved that to you. Hopefully for all of us, HIMs will be able to prove that to us as well. Don't just lock into the day of the news. Remember, for a few days, it's going to be in play, and give yourself a shot, each of them.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty interesting look here with regards to AMD. Then one I want to mention, and thank you, Bobby Axelrod in the chat for letting me know, BITF with a $300 million convertible senior note offering, bit of a move lower, nothing major, but it has been in quite the trajectory to the upside on the daily chart. So I wanted to mention, Trump is not talking about the market. He is talking about votes and Venezuela and nothing that is related to the market. But just to give you guys an update, I am still listening. So let's talk here about Coinbase, because they invested some money here in India. Now, I want to clarify. The individual from Coinbase who made this announcement, the executive who was not CEO Brian Armstrong to our right, but a different executive from Coinbase, he said, this is still pending regulatory approval. So that's interesting. But basically, they're not investing just in India itself. They're investing in an Indian exchange there. So interesting look. Apparently, I think if this goes through, it'll value the company in the low single-digit billions. So not a bad look there for COI. And I apologize, I don't have like the exact number. I'm doing this off my head. But either way, I think we'll have to wait and see if this goes through. And I've never seen an investment-related catalyst before with that caveat of pending approval. But I mean, yeah, what do you think here? Neil, Coinbase didn't seem to care too much. But
no, and it's the one market where that doesn't surprise me, the whole pending approval. Like, the Indian market is a very challenging one for anyone to crack. Because they're very eternal. Like, you've got to do it their way, and they're very protectionist when it comes to their equity markets and investing. But it is a huge market for them. It's the kind of story that you'd look over and kind of hope that Coinbase wouldn't be down 1.5% on, unfortunately. But that's exactly what happened. Some of that might be market related, but if you're being honest with it, it's not like it was going at any point early anyways. Like, this wasn't going on this news and then reversed with the market. This was kind of fading from the jump. It was fading in the pre-market, it rallied back to highs, and then it faded the rest of the day. So you're still having a bad situation, or a relatively bad situation with Coinbase, where even if you get what seems like a positive catalyst, you get a pullback day. It just hasn't been the best for this stock since it tagged $400, and I don't wonder if you don't just flat out wait for 300. I own it, so like, I'm lamenting it a little bit, but I think that 300 level is the next place where you got to look for it, and just be patient. It's another 10% down from here. I think you get a shot at it, especially if this market is as toppy as it's kind of feeling, then Coinbase can give you that shot. But if we're talking sort of about the next available shot, I mean, there's nothing bigger than earnings, right, Adara? And it's not now. I know when we talk about earnings, we're usually talking about things between 4 and 4:30. but TSM reports tonight. And for any of you that don't know, over 80% of the chips in the world are fabricated by this company.
Yes.
So whatever you think about the chip space, you might want to consider at least adjusting it a little bit, depending on what goes on tonight. It's a monster earnings. UAL, fantastic. We'll probably look at it for some trades tomorrow morning. But TSM, Taiwan Semi, is going to be a big litmus test, I think, because if they start talking about some concerns or if they miss expectations altogether, they're the kind of stock that can bring the entire chip space just gap down 2 or 3% on SMH overnight if something goes wrong here.
Yeah. But what happens once Intel's amazing foundry takes over and no one builds chip with TSM? No, I'm joking. And I'm actually trying to be sarcastic.
We're all retiring on all the Intel shares that we have.
No, the point I'm trying to make there, though, Neil, is we had Jensen Huang quite kindly and then Lisa Su a little bit more coldly both say, yeah, they're going to stick with TSM, right? Like, again, I want to clarify, Jensen Huang was quite a bit nicer about it. They're investing in Intel. Someone asked, hey, so are you guys going to use their foundry? And he said, we're happy with TSM. Like, that's not a discussion right now. And then Lisa Su was asked directly, hey, are you guys going to be a customer of Intel? That was a previous report. And she said, no, like, she just said TSM, right? So I think with that in mind, I only bring that up to say I think it's a sign that people are still going to work with TSM. And I think, sure, there are fears. Okay, a lot of their production is obviously in Taiwan. It's not in the U.S., America first. But Neil, we know they've invested a lot in the U.S. And so far, if you have invested in the U.S., you're pseudo-indemnified from any tariff concerns as long as you're trying to build in the U.S., which again, TSM's not going to get 100% production, but I think because of their serious size of their investment and the fact they've done press conferences with Trump, I think they're not entirely immune, but I don't think they're going to be the first people we go after for tariffs, if you know what I mean. I think this will probably definitely, without a doubt, be the most exciting earnings report for tomorrow morning. I mean, Charles Schwab, bigger expected move than I thought, same with Infosys, but if you're looking for a day trader out of this, other than UAL, which is already reported, I think TSM is maybe the horse you climb on. I hate that analogy. But can I also mention here Rumble, Neil? Because Rumble,
what's wrong with that?
The horse you back. I just worded it weirdly. Oh. But like the horse you bet on, I don't know. We're not going to talk about horses anymore. We're going to talk about Rumble. Because Rumble did get a little bit of a post-market pop. Now, why? Randomly, weirdly, a couple weeks ago, they have a Perplexity deal. Now, Neil, they're apparently going to be announcing a bundle or launching a subscription bundle soon with Perplexity as part of said previously announced Perplexity deal. I don't have many details, but it might be on our watch list tomorrow if it gets enough volume, so you might be able to learn more there if I get more.
I always say with stocks like Rumble, if you happen to like this kind of a bottom pick where it's not doing anything, if someone else is accumulating, that's the price that you should do it at. So if you like Rumble, they're accumulating at 7, accumulating at 7, accumulating at 7, you buy in front of that level and then just sort of set it and forget it. Yeah, I don't like Rumble, so it's not going to be my cup of tea, but then somebody's buying the stock at $7 every single time it gets there, and you want to respect it if it does happen. I got to jump back to that Intel thing for a second, because other people might want to say it nicely about why you wouldn't see NVIDIA or AMD or anybody right now going with Intel for their advanced chips. Intel's yields are poor, under 50%. They don't fabricate their own advanced chips. I say it every single time. So for new viewers out there, you're going to hear it for the first time. For anyone that's been around a while, you know I'm saying it over and over again. And I say this, I own shares of Intel. I have zero issues speaking relatively negatively or about the weaknesses of a stock that I have that's actually doing well for me, because that's just being honest. So if you're looking for that big chunk out of Samsung and to the larger extent TSM, what it's going to take is more efficiency in their fabrication process. That's the big thing that has to happen for Intel. And then once they do that, I believe they will get one of those big clients, because they can say whatever they want. The US government's going to want Intel fabricating NVIDIA chips at some point. So the second they are physically able to do it as well as TSM, it's going to happen, in my opinion, because to me, that's just how the world works. And it's one of the few things that you can actually get both sides of the aisle to agree on, is they don't want TSM making all the chips. Both sides of the aisle are going to agree on that. It's just a matter of, are you efficient enough at doing it, Intel? And once you are, to the moon. This move right now has less to do, I think, with the foundry play. Then they bottomed out, they've stabilized the business at the core a little bit, and then the U.S. government invested in it, so you're bouncing off the lows. The bigger play happens, I think, in a year or two.
Yeah, sorry, I just listened to Donald Trump say that they compare someone in his administration to Darth Vader, but he's a nice guy. So my brain was just processing that, so I apologize for the face. But either way, I do want to talk here. Sorry, I have the Feds up, just a little teaser for Fed Speak tomorrow, but I'll move on to that in a second. I want to talk right now, though, about what you just said, because, Neil, it might take a while for us to get U.S. Like Intel fabs, right? So what I think is, you're right, it is an issue that's across the aisle. But what happens to this investment in Intel once the administration changes? Assuming it does, because again, obviously Trump himself cannot serve a third term, although the hats might say otherwise. But the point is, like, if we get, the Vance administration, for example, the investment might continue. But what happens if we get a change in regime, for lack of better terms? Does that impact the Intel investment? And what happens, like, how long is this rollout going to be for the fab? Because I think that could be a legitimate concern, especially because we know the foundry was never a huge priority of CEO Lip-Bu Tan. And yes, of course, they have to prioritize it because of the U.S. investment. But, like, if you guys don't remember, and I wouldn't blame you for not remembering, my memory is just weird, Lip-Bu Tan actually stepped down from Intel's board like roughly 8 months before he became CEO because he fundamentally disagreed with what Pat Gelsinger was doing at the company. And Pat Gelsinger was a very large proponent of the foundry business, and revenue did drop year over year, every year of Pat Gelsinger's reign. So what I'm trying to say here is, obviously it's not a very pretty picture, Neil, and I just wanted to address that.
Well, the first side of it is, okay, well, if the Republicans still win, we know it's going to stick around, the investment's going to stay. The other side of that coin is, okay, well then who's leading the Democratic Party at that time? Because we already know there was the CHIPS Act, so there is the willingness to be in this game by a lot of Democrats. The question would be, how far on the other side of the aisle? Like, who knows who will be running for the Democrats next? So that's almost impossible to predict. You just know what the lay of the land is right now, and the lay of the land does say that we have a government that wants Intel to succeed, and ultimately that can be a good thing. Some would consider it a bad thing, but the stock price certainly looks really good. I got a shout out to all the positives in the chat, and thank you guys for the kind words. Save man, woman, peace. We're just all about keeping it real, as far as I'm concerned.
We are.
Like the whole, like, that's why I have so much respect for Neil. I think, here's my thing. I think it should be the bare minimum to just be candid and honest, regardless of what your personal position would be. Like, especially, like, the way I look at it, if I couldn't criticize something bad I see in the company that I own, then what the heck am I owning it for? Because no company is perfect. So I should be able to see some weaknesses in it. And if I can't, that means I'm not looking hard enough. And what the heck is it in my investment portfolio anyways? It means I don't know the company and I shouldn't have it. So you should know the weaknesses of the thing that you're investing in and what concerns you. Like, what are the things I like about them? What are the things I don't like about it? And if you can't answer those questions, then just buy the SPY. It's probably the easier way to go. Heck, everyone should just buy the SPY anyways. Let's be real. But ultimately, just to flip back, I know we had one name that reported, and it's really, man, what an absolute rinse job this has now done UAL. Because UAL is actually flat. It goes from up $4 to down $4 to up $2 to now flat. And it wasn't like the numbers were all that bad, but unfortunately a bit of a nothing burger for UAL. And we talk about this all the time. This is one of the risks of trade. If you try to trade these while they're happening, good luck. You better be really, really quick. Make sure you get your outs really fast, because you're right back into square one if you just happen to be holding. They did get a beat for sure, but it's going to take more than that.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say too, like the revenue miss could be significant.
It has to be that.
I'm not sure it's like massive, but I think it is maybe worth noting here. Did have a slight revenue miss, up marginally year over year, but maybe not enough to get people, excited to hop on this plane to the upside. Nice little Q3 EPS beat, though, as I mentioned. I like that hand gesture there, Neil, with the plane. And again, I mentioned here the Q4 adjusted EPS. I think that was probably the most beautiful thing about this chart, or not the stock, the earnings report, $3 to $3.50. They're seeing for Q4 adjusted EPS above estimates of $2.88. But Neil, only about 4 minutes left, so I do want to remind you guys what's on the docket for tomorrow. Here's a cool calendar. It's every Fed speaker tomorrow. And 3 of them are at 9 a.m. I realize it's kind of hard to tell the way we do this.
That's a lot.
But yeah, this is a pretty fun calendar, and it hasn't even been posted yet on X, so you guys are getting an exclusive view. Tomorrow, around, I believe, 7:15 in the morning on X, this is going to drop. You guys are seeing it here first, so definitely join us, X and TTV Research, because I will tease infographics here in the show before they go live, and I think they're all informative and often fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best thing about that graphic is now at least we know that Neil Kashkari doesn't speak until after the market's closed.
Yes.
So we can't crash the market.
And neither does Goolsby, the other guy who's been super hawkish as of late. Those two together, I would say right now are probably the most hawkish of the Feds, maybe, and then the most dovish. It's not even a question. It's this bald-looking, glasses-wearing individual up here by the name of Stephen Myron, who even today, when he was a bit more cautious about the economic outlook, he was still very dovish. He was like, well, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. We don't know what's happening, which is why we have to cut rates now. So, so that's Stephen Myron. And guys, I like to get excited. I like to have fun here on this desk, and I love my job, so why not?
This is why TradingTV.live is the best, because where else are you going to hear ball-headed glasses? I can't even.
What he looks like.
You know what? Tomorrow you got to punk me in the same way somehow. just I know it's hilarious, but I can't even. Go back to Adair for a second.
Yeah.
Ball-headed.
Yeah, I want to mention too, though, Trump saying that we're in a trade war with China. That just happened. So Trump officially saying, yeah, I'm going to wipe the smile off your face there, Neil. Trump saying, we are in a trade war with China. So just a reminder there, trade war with China, according to U.S. President Donald Trump. Now, again, earlier today, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said, and I believe this could have contributed to the sell-off, though it certainly didn't start the weakness in the market. Bessent said, hey, we're telling the World Bank to stop supporting China. Now, to be clear, I remember him saying this like back on the old desk, I think as early as February or March, because his issue is, I guess, the IMF, specifically the International Monetary Fund, the way their system works, they treat China like a developing country, which I feel like a lot of people could argue that's not a thing. So I think that's part of his argument. But either way, that headline looking like how it is understandably, I think, a little bit of concern.
Well, it's one of those threats that can continue to be lobbed out there because everybody knows that's how it should be. They're not a developer. It's ridiculous that that's the way it is. So it kind of gets lobbed out. The difference being, in the last week, the heightened tension that we have, it hit a little bit different when he said it, I think, this time as opposed to a few months ago. And that's the concern.
The context, yeah.
Yeah, the context. What I worry about is now I think we have a little bit more to risk with TSM tonight. Shout out to Obi. Take off. He's actually just taking off now. The guy sticks around for another half an hour after the market closes. But I think we have a little bit more to worry about here with TSM and now just more heightened tensions and more rhetoric going to the negative side. But you know what time? It's already 4:30.
It is.
So, because we love everybody in the chat, that includes you, Wen Pump, who was taking a shot at my Toronto Blue Jays, and you can see that right there in the chat. We love you. We love all of our community, even when you rock my team. And when you do, it's fair. Because we're inclusive and we love everybody and we do roll call. So you get shouted out as long as you're in the chat. But to be in the chat, make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can do some roll call in here. Give a big shout out to the entire team. Give a shout out to Obi, Adara, Sean, Joey Options, Fabian, Ramin, Brendo, Andre, everybody out there, and to yourselves for being the best community out there. And I'm going to type in the chat because now I absolutely have to. Let's go Blue Jays.
Yeah, I'm just laughing here at this comment from Rainmaker in the chat. I bet Adair has fun at happy hour. If that is sarcasm, I mean, hey, one time we went out for drinks at work and I gave Sharif an oral short report of Starbucks. So like, hey, maybe you're right. But either way, thank you very much there for all your support in the chat. Thank you to Death God in the chat, Charles Lineback, Liana, Bobby, Axelrod, LK, Save Men, Women, Peace, Brown Lightning, Ben, Superquant, Bristol, Adam James, HPN. We've got Mimi P, Ben again here. We've got Jason Coiney, Seth, Trevor Brucker, we have Laura Bennett, we got Liana there, I mentioned, I believe earlier, Sir Poopy Paperhands, Michael O'Neill, the Roaring Griffin, we've got Michael Spadafora, Haley Nichelle, Ollie Twist, we've got Julian L, the Tranquil Channel, we've got Smooth 1J, we've got Yummy Thai Foods, Boss Play, Travman, Julian L again here, M. Kelsey, Boldest Bullish, I like that, High Vibrations, Paul Newman, Neil Roberts in the chat, Byron Hart, and we're going to stop here with Lathan. So thank you so much to our friends on the show as well. We We had Neil and Sean. We had Sharif. Sharif wasn't even here today. He might be here tomorrow. We had Joe, Obi. We had Fabian, Ramin, Andre, Brendan, always killing it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. And make sure to check out the watch list and the morning note and all the content that we give you guys, because it's awesome.
And make sure you try to Trade TV research for all the infographics and all of the up-to-date information you need in the markets, which is what we do around here. So rest up, TSM earnings when you're probably sleeping, as you should be, and then we're back at it at 8:30. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Trader TV Live, brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX. See you in the morning.
See ya.